everyone, and welcome to another. We're going to do a Max Roll podcast, and I'm joined here with Tuna, Ziggy, and Rue. Rue is a MOBA creator, and I figured it would be just good to get like a lot of different opinions because there's a lot of cool stuff to talk about. And yeah, thank you all so much for joining us here today.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for having us on.
There's been a lot of, some people hate the patch, some people like the patch. I personally love it, but yeah, just figured we could start with just first impressions, and I'll hand it off to Rue. What was your first impression of the patch?
Well, my first impression was not. I just tested a new skill, and it was not tuned very well for the campaign, and I had to make a new character. But after that, it was pretty good. I like the whole campaign. I think Act 4 was crazy good. It was pretty epic. The interludes were a little sloggy because the maps were like huge, but after that, I feel like the game overall was pretty. It's pretty good. Progression's very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. Ziggy, first impressions?
It's a really good patch overall, except it is a kind of a mixed bag in terms of initial impressions for people due to such wide disparities in like balance or it being easier to notice specific nerfs that are problematic or that people don't like, while the kind of net positive of a lot of the other changes are more subtle and take a bit more time to kind of sink in, which I did kind of anticipate because it was like a lot of like even when I was playing Warrior when I was over in New Zealand, it was like I can't really even put my finger on like what all the improvements are here and how they come together, but like it's very obvious when something like Giant's Blood is nerfed by X amount.
Right.
So that with like the
Yeah.
lack of planning, I think really has given people a good chunk of people like kind of pretty bad first impressions, which is a bit of a bummer. Yeah, we can talk more about that.
Yeah, no, I agree. Tuna?
Yeah, honestly, very well said. I think much of the same as what Ziggy said. I think overall the patch, if you played spells to begin with, was kind of rough just because of the lack of planning, and it does feel like there was like a massive disparity with power in regards to what you had to do to accomplish getting that power. So, for context, like I was playing like spells and like a boss fight would take me 3 minutes, and then I kind of got sick of like not being strong, so I put on a quarterstaff, and then I would like right click and kill them in like 3 seconds, right? So it's the disparity there for the amount of effort. Just it was pretty rough, and you kind of just felt like you were punished for trying something new. But once I got to end game and all that kind of stuff, the game started becoming exponentially better, and the fun really started to flow in. And the changes that they have made to mid and end game, though I do feel like the end game loop still needs obviously a lot of work, but for the crafting and stuff like that, yeah, it's like exponentially better than the previous patch. So I'm very happy with what they've done, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I had a rough time on hardcore, and it's still my favorite like PoE patch ever. Like I didn't like last league much, but this league I'm having a blast. Even though like I've died 4 times, so got filtered a little bit by the monkey. That thing is crazy, but yeah, no, just it's just so fun. There's just so much more to do now, I find, in the game in general, and like Ruth said, like Act 4 is just amazing. It's really good.
Oh yeah, we only just got to endgame beanses, so this probably won't be like a lot of endgame discussion in this podcast. Just FYI.
Yeah,
all good.
I'm already up to
context.
tier 7 maps, so I'm getting there.
But you guys got to experiment the abyss stuff, because they really trickle that in from early, and they give you the body parts, and they're locked to, you can't use them beyond a certain level. And so by doing that, they give you a lot more than you need during the campaign if you engage with abyss, right? So
that's good.
I mean, you guys would have been experimenting with that, hopefully. If you, I kind of like skipped out on it in the campaign because I have PoE1 mindset of just kind of not really using my resources as much in the campaign as I do in endgame. But
Yeah,
I'm wondering what you guys think about that. Like, what if you've engaged with the abyss stuff at all, like, during the campaign?
Yeah, I did heaps of abyss during the campaign, so I was very campaign focused, and with like the neck injury I've had recently, I was like, I'm just gonna take my time and slowly work my way through the campaign over the course of a week. And because I'm like trying to map all the new secret stuff, the changes to the earlier acts, and all the stuff in the new acts. I did spend a lot of time like engaging with the abyss, probably like in almost every single zone I went into, and it felt like much more generous than they usually are with these things in early leagues, I think.
Yeah.
And a big part of that is actually, so what they've done is they've made it so that certain zones have guaranteed drops. So, for example, the Karui village, when you go there towards the end of Act 4, it has a guaranteed, well, it's like a soft guaranteed Greater Jewel's Orb. And
Wait, what?
that can drop from multiple different places, but it's very likely to drop from the Abyss. So,
I
but
think I
it's
missed that.
possible to miss that. It's possible to miss that, but it is kind of like, so they have these soft guarantees, and they try to put them in like one of the chests in the end of a zone, like in the end of like a dead end or something like that. But they've started using league mechanics as a way to give those out. Which
Yeah.
that's actually all over the place. Like there'll be a guaranteed exalt in this specific zone, or a guaranteed, you know, even just like a couple augments or something in here. It's like there's a lot of subtle stuff, but that
Yeah, like the
I think,
bells giving 3 exils and 3 wriggles.
yeah, it's like that, but that's like a hard guarantee, so that's always there. Whereas these are like, I don't know what to call them. I don't know what they can call them internally, but yeah, they're like a a soft guarantee, I guess. So if you spend enough time in the zone, you will get it.
Like bad luck
But
protection. I
if you kind of
suppose.
speed through, you might miss something.
I
Yeah.
think they
So
just
like
buffed
I
the.
definitely missed a lot of that. Sorry, what
I
were you
think they
saying,
just
Wade?
buffed the loot so much that you're getting more items and you think it's guaranteed, but it's just like the loot's just buffed and there's loot everywhere.
N- That
I mean,
he's
that's
actually right. He's actually right though, because if you play in a group of 4, you'll actually notice like so I
gets
did that, like I
complicated.
did a sponsored event with Annie Fuchsia, Gyuzu and Sunglitters, and I noticed even sometimes when clicking on an abyss, it would actually drop like 4 armor scraps. But as soon as I
Yeah,
looted one, the
it's
other people's
duplicated for
would
the
go
party.
away because they were
That's how you can
perma-allocated
test
to
it
the other. So they
usually.
are actually semi-guaranteed, and
Right.
they are character locked.
Yeah, when we've mapped this stuff in the past, the way to do it is you can even invite someone in some cases in after you've done the thing, like after you've clicked the chest or whatever, and they can come in and it'll just pop out an extra exalt for them. So,
Oh, shit.
but this is also like, I don't just pull this shit out of my ass, right? This is literally how GGG explained the mechanic to me when I was over there. It's like we are guaranteeing these things to kind of like set minimum bars for people's experience through the campaign. So, and it's especially for people who are like, if they're struggling, they're naturally going to be exploring and killing more, so they're more likely to run into the abyss or open that extra chest, which has that like that greater jewel's orb, all those extra gems, all those extra bits of currency. A lot more crafting
Yeah.
currency this time around, which is good.
Yeah, crafting was really
They
needed.
definitely need some bad luck protection there. Although I don't know about you guys, but I was struggling for runes this time around like so much.
Yeah. I mean, I had like
Yep,
30
Yeah.
of
weapons
the
ones.
attribute ones. The ones that
Yeah.
you don't need.
Yeah.
That was a thing that they band-aided into the game because attribute requirements were so high, right? Now they nerfed them. I don't know. They probably should just get rid of those runes or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's okay to have them because there still might be something. Like, it's probably better to have them than not, but I would like severely reduce the drop rate on them because they're still not going to be expensive. Very few people use them.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's like so weighted
But,
towards those instead of resistance in the campaign, right? I couldn't count my res. I ended an end game in like 20 res, but then again, I wasn't like super diligent about it.
Yeah,
So-
I had to like stay back and farm a lot because of that.
Did you guys find the ferryman in one of the interlude acts? So
Wait,
I'm going to take that as a no. There's an NPC in
say that
the
again?
in one of the interludes, the ferryman. There's an NPC in there, like one of the kind of like a vendor that sells like kind of, I guess, like 10-ish runes, the greater runes for gold. I'm like, that's brilliant. They could
That's
stand to
good,
do
yeah.
that throughout the campaign with like weaker or even like
My chat
weaker or
told me
more
about it,
expensive.
but I never found it.
Yeah, he's by the river on the way to the Elizabeth Bathory house. You know, we're bathing in blood to stay young. There's that couple, the kinky couple, on the way there.
Okay.
Yeah, there's it's really good. It's like 10 greater runes and they're like 2k gold each or something. It was like, oh my god, I bought everyone. It's like a lot of these are worth like 5 chaos or something. So this fizz one's worth like 60. Oh my god. Yeah, scam that guy, same. It's really
No
good, but they
idea.
could stand to do that in more places, I think, like, because that is, and even if they made it like 10 times more expensive, the point is that you can get like the thing that you want. Like you can have a little bit more determinism with the rune stuff, which that's supposed to be the problem fixer, right? But It was the only thing that I did feel was missing. Like I was getting tons of everything else, but even like I was able to suck it now because of the guaranteed artificers that have been added to quests. But the actual
Yeah,
runes themselves are low.
I'm really curious actually. Do you guys start with Ziggy, but do you guys prefer the runes to the crafting bench? Like, do you feel like it like adequately replaces the crafting bench?
Hmm. The crafting bench is, if introduced well, probably an easier thing for people to interact with in terms of being a problem solver. But
Yeah.
runes are an easier like trickle upgrading of gear mechanic. So I think like if the purpose is to give people problem solve tools, the bench probably works better. But we obviously know that they're not going that route. They're determined to do it without doing like a lines of text, which I get. Like having a physicality to it is in many ways a better thing for people to engage with, especially for crafting. And I guess
Yeah.
runes are crafting without feeling like crafting too, which is good.
What do you prefer personally?
Personally, I don't think that for me runes are a big deal. They're not something I think about too much. They're there as just like a nice little problem solver. And I think as far as like the swapping resists at the bench thing, they do that well. I think that's fine. I'm constantly like, oh yeah, I changed some pieces of gear around, so I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just change these runes over. So a little bit more access there would be good. Overall, for me,
Mhm.
the bigger focus has been on like how essences have been to engage with and the abyss crafting and how those
Yeah,
kind of like plane and get introduced because those are the
that's
stuff
good.
I
Yeah.
like a lot more.
Yeah.
Keen to talk about that later.
Tuna, what about you? Like, how do you feel about the crafting bench compared to runes?
I prefer the crafting bench just because I'm always preferring being able to, like, if I need something, I do it, right? Like agency. I think it's just way better. But I also like runes.
Yeah.
I don't think runes are bad, especially in endgame. I think runes are really cool, and what they've done in the 0.1 patch last season, they really put in some like really cool shit. So I think the new runes are really really cool, but I think then the issue stems from just the fact that it feels frustrating early to fix problems that you would be able to fix in PoE1, and you can kind of like attribute it to like, oh, is runes an issue or what? But for me, the issue is if they want to go down with runes, then it would be I need more regal orbs or I need more essences because they gave me enough exalts. We already talked about the fact that they didn't give us enough like resistance runes, but it just felt like I was stuck with like 2 mod items and like either having no essence to get a resistance on it or no regal to potentially slam it to get further res or whatever. And I think bases in this game are just too impactful to not incrementally upgrade. My base defenses were non-existent without upgrading. So
Are you talking about in like during leveling now or during endgame?
during specifically leveling, because I think that's for me like
Right.
90% of my problems currently with Path of Exile 2 is during leveling. I think once you get to the end game loop, it feels fine. Like for the most part, we just need more content and for towers to be removed. But for the leveling is like really where all the pain
Slip that in
points.
there.
Yeah, yeah. But the real pain points are just like being kind of like feeling stuck in this loop of I need this res, I can't get it, or like I need to check the vendor, which is like not an
Yeah.
enticing gameplay loop for me. And just sort of like having like no control over really, or you could have control in by like brute forcing farming, farming one zone over and over again, which is what I would do on hardcore. But I'm not sure if that's necessarily good game design because like on hardcore you kind of sign up for that, but on softcore it doesn't feel like is this the way that it's intended to be played, right? The kind of thing. So yeah.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
have
I
a
can see that. It's
question.
definitely a bit like locked on hardcore, like what you can do upgrades and gold coast and stuff. Go on, Ziggy.
On this topic of runes, I'm curious what you guys think about the idea of being able to salvage items that you've socketed and you get the rune back. It's like if you actually destroy the item, you can get the runes back. I
I
feel
don't
like
think they're
that
ever
would.
gonna let you do that
Yeah, I doubt it. But I also
I
think
can
because
it's
see
a
like
long
the
way to
problem end
sell.
game, but for leveling, it seems like it would be a nice help. But
Yeah.
I can't really see how you disentangle the two.
But then they could fix that issue with many other ways, right? And not to like create this weird, convoluted, like it works now, but it doesn't work later type of thing. I think having syncs in the game is really
wouldn't wanna do
important for softcore trade. So the more syncs there are, the better. But at the same time, like, yeah, there's problems in early game that need to be solved.
I mean, it does mean deleting it does mean destroying the item, right? That's what I was thinking about it from that perspective,
I
not just
know,
taking it
yeah.
out. but
Yeah.
actually like just
That's true,
dismantling the
actually.
item.
Yeah, I think that would be like the only way to do it. I don't know. I don't see them doing it, but it's not a bad idea.
Mm.
Rue, I was curious how you feel about the crafting bench versus runes.
Well, I think runes are kind of not too great early compared to the crafting bench, but what they did with the end game section of runes, how it
Yeah.
creates new builds and like, you know,
Mm.
actual like build archetypes through gems, and then having an economy to back that up because you know runes are now drop based, right? A lot of the new ones really gives another like flair to your sockets, where the crafting bench
Yeah.
is just like everyone would have it, and then you know as long as like you got it once, everyone can get it. Now there's another like economic side of runes, which I think is pretty fun. I wasn't a biggest fan of runes when the game started,
Yeah.
but if they're gonna keep adding these socketables in and they're gonna get crazier and crazier, I think it's actually a good part for the game. It's a good thing for the game.
Yeah,
I
no,
agree,
I
agree with
agree.
that
I
a lot.
like
The
the
end game
in-game
stuff
part.
looks really good. It's getting way more interesting, eh? It's just like I think that it's just the leveling for me that runes suck for now.
Yeah.
Just not being
The
available,
leveling
right?
was very rough, especially on hardcore, because like I feel like there's such an insane amount of gold sinks and currency sinks early, because I like on hardcore it was hard to res cap, like, and then like every time I finally get res capped, new act and I lose more res, and I'm like, oh my god, dude, I am starting to struggle here. And then I would like I was trying to like disenchant a lot this time because I've been doing gambling before. And none of my regals hit. So I'd be picking up every single blue, maybe getting a 2-step blue, and every regal would miss, and I'm just like, I'm just not getting any gear. And then once I got to Act 4, I'm gonna try like buying on the auction house. It's like, cool, this is 40% of your gold to buy one item from another player. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I know they said it was gonna be high early, so I'm expecting that to like go down, but it was like there's so many sinks early. I don't feel like there's much of a gold sink late game though. I feel like almost in maps, even in like tier 1 maps, they're almost like too generous with gold compared to early game.
You get a ton of gold.
In PoE1, gold is like a huge issue, right? All the way, like you need so much of it, all even in the end game. This game, I just have millions of gold just sitting there because you never really use it because there's nothing to do with it, right?
Yeah. Especially like we don't have like a King's March to like send people with, so there's like nothing to do with end game other than like gamble amulets. And
You can flip
gambling
the
is also like
exchange.
limited.
But like even if you flip the
Yeah,
exchange, you'll
but
be struggling to run out like unless you do like very large sort of small margin trades.
yeah, it would have to be crazy flipping. Like already now, when I've just started mapping, like I think I only got like 12 hours of mapping in, and I have 670,000 gold, and the trades aren't exactly like huge, right? So, I've had no issues with gold in the end game. So I do think we'll see like maybe, I don't know, maybe we just need more gold sinks, like more to do with gold, but I don't know what that would be.
I'm not opposed to adding more gold sinks, but I'm glad that it's panned out that normal players aren't being bottlenecked on gold for trading via
Yeah.
the asynchronous trade. Like, I want that to
Yeah.
only really be affecting botters, not actual players. I don't want that to be
Yeah.
the bottleneck. That's a lame bottleneck to like be like, oh, I gotta go grind some more gold so I can trade. Good to be able to just kind of forget that it's a thing.
No, I agree with that for sure. I wasn't expecting it to be that much of a bottleneck early. It was interesting. But it's the auction house and stuff has been really nice. We can talk about that later. I wanted to just wrap up like campaign talk with talking about just Act 4. Personally, I was blown away by Act 4. It's like by far the best thing I've seen in a ARPG campaign. It's crazy. It's actually, I don't know if you guys agree with this, but it was surprisingly short. The second time, I think it took me 1 hour to run through it. The first time was actually quite long, right? Hardcore, and I'm really, really scared. So it took me a long time. But on my run through, I think I used somewhere between 3 and 6 hours on Act 3 and 1 hour on Act 4. So I was just, as soon as I got to Act 4, I was like sprinting. So yeah, no, I was very, very impressed with all the bosses and everything. I was a little bit surprised on the amount of like Awakener level boss fights in Act 4. Like
Yeah.
there are some there that like we just saw like half a hardcore got wiped out, or maybe more, right? Like we kept seeing like on the ladder, it was like has died at level 54, has died at level 54, has died at level 54. And that was like
Was
2
it
or
the
3
monkey?
hours for people. I'm not 100% sure if it was the monkey, the last boss of Act 4,
Right.
or like the Cyrus Mace boss.
Yeah.
But I think those 3 were like doing some heavy wipeouts. Like I saw like streamers died of all of those.
Yeah. They're really hard, like because they
Um,
one shots, right? So I can't imagine what it's
yeah,
like
I mean
on hardcore, man. Like
yeah, I mean it was crazy. The thing is like pin is so broken. Like I'm a tactician, and most people, very few, even on hardcore, are playing tactician. So I was really scared going up to the bosses. But then my mortars just did so much damage, and I had a really decent weapon. So all my boss fights were like 6 seconds or less. And
Yeah.
the way pin works is I get pin into heavy stun into pin.
yeah.
So it's like even if the fight did take long, it's like I have like 15 seconds of the boss not doing anything.
Meanwhile, spells.
I am also playing a Grenadier,
Yeah.
and I really want my first experience with new campaign bosses, especially with how good Period 2 ones are, to be something where I, in softcore, die once or twice on any major boss. But I unfortunately did not have that experience because, and I know it's like this is just 100% the like big balance disparity between builds, because some people were like spending a lot of time on bosses or getting stuck or whatever.
Yeah.
Or the bosses were really long. People are like, it took me that 10 minutes to kill that boss. And it's like, so there's like a big difference here. And it's kind of a bummer that grenades just so happen to do so, and PNI was the same experience, do so much damage, and kind of skipped that. I was like, it's not the same when you arbitrarily try and not do damage just to see their abilities. So I was a little bit bummed about that. But your original question, I guess, was the campaigns, like
Yeah.
how good the
Tell
new
me
campaigns
more
is.
about your Act 4 thoughts.
Yeah, I think I could be tightened up a little bit in a few areas. There's a couple of awkwardnesses that need to be worked out. Like, so the shark fin, for example, you get the shark fin. If you do that island
Oh, yeah.
first, which I did, you get it at the start of the act, and then you don't really. I did the island where you hand it in, like at the end of the act. You don't know that sort of stuff ahead of time. There's some kind of weirdness just with the nature of it being a sandbox campaign. It
Yeah.
is interesting how it is a really long first playthrough, but then subsequent ones can be really fast. That's actually really cool. That's if they can manage that sort of design for more content in the campaign, then that's kind of like a pseudo campaign skip. You can like make a ton of the stuff kind of optional in a sense.
Yeah.
And the sandbox aspect of it kind of lets you, yeah, only just kind of beeline through it. One of my favorite new additions to the campaign was how they have integrated league mechanics into the game and the story. So you get Abyss with an NPC at the
Yes.
start, actually tied to quests. You get a quest reward from it.
They're very
And
rewarding.
it's like that for pretty much all of them. In even like Delirium was like a pleasant surprise for that to be in the campaign. Like you
Yeah.
get an opportunity. I got like 6 emotions from that boss, and then I was able to anoint my amulet then and there. That's like soft tutorialization. That's really good. And Expedition was phenomenal. That was like super rewarding. I hit like tons of XP modifiers in there, so I got like 2.5 levels from
I
just clearing that
died.
one expedition at a time. I was like, oh my god, look at the XP. Every single mob was killing. It's like 5% XP.
Oh, wow.
So incorporating that stuff into the campaign and actually making like quests and tied to the NPCs and quest rewards, like such a good thing. I think it's going to get people like set up for endgame a lot more. It's going to be really good for new players, and it's just a really fun way of doing it too. Made it like a bit more real and tangible. So I really like that. Big bummer though, the end of the interludes. I really thought there was going to be another boss after I did the 3 interludes, because they've got these. You can do them in any order, right? So I thought you'd do them all. There's like 3 mini bosses. The last one I did was the twins, and I didn't even realize they were the end of boss for that campaign. So obviously, again, a kind of a build power problem, but I was really like, okay, cool, yeah, we're gearing up for a boss fight. We're getting all the things together. We're going to do like a boss fight, and then like some story thing's going to go wrong, and we're going to get booted into the end game, right? They're like, oh no, you may have defeated them, but we failed. So,
So
maybe we can
yeah,
fix this in the future.
I mean
was
that's
jarring.
the thing, right? They are very temporary acts. I was surprised. I kind of had the opposite. I was expecting way more bare bones stuff for the interludes. When they
These are
first
really good
posted them,
themselves.
yeah, like I was
Good
like, these are just
transition.
full acts. These are just full like quality 2 acts, in my opinion, pretty much. So I sort of had the opposite experience there.
There's apparently a bugged cutscene. So there's supposed to be a cutscene when
Yeah.
you go to Oriath when you do the go to Aria thing, but right
Oh.
now it just black screens you to
Yeah.
endgame town, which was just like, I was such a bummer. I was
Yeah,
really
I
enjoying
don't
it
see
and
that.
really geared up for something. But yeah, apparently you're supposed to. It sounds like from talking to Gwen and I think that we get on a ship and then something happens and goes wrong. I guess the ship crashes or something. We get teleported away. I don't know exactly. But we don't see any of that right now.
Yeah.
How much of a bummer is that? The cutscene's broken. It's bugged.
Yeah, I
Oh my
that's happened. I read
god.
that in the patch notes.
Very sad about
And
that.
we can talk
You
more about
realize you
these
just
a little
got
later because
grenades
they're really
nerfed,
good too.
right, Ziggy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think they'll
I'm a
mid
big
league
grenade fan
patches
too.
though. They're not that broken.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be getting nerfed this league, but there for sure will be some sort of tuning back down next league. I think, at least for the campaign. I don't know about endgame.
Yeah,
but
for the campaign, I think is the main problem, right? In endgame, they're like they're fine. I think,
They-
but like I feel like in endgame, a lot of
pretty
things
quickly go
smooth
back to being
out.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot of other things that are more broken, I think, as well, from what I'm seeing.
Yes.
Rue, do you want to tell me a
Just-
little bit about your Act 4 feelings?
Oh man. I think Act 4 was really, really epic.
Yeah.
I played a grenades also because on my reroll, so I have the same problem with Ziggy where I melted every single boss in a matter of seconds. But I think the act it was beautiful. Like I was going through Act 4, and you know how Twitch chat is like they're negative, a bunch of PoE1 viewers just like spamming their BS. But then
Forced.
when I said this act
I'm
looked
sorry, you have
beautiful,
that?
like I almost everybody agreed, right? The game looked
Yeah.
absolutely fantastic in Act 4. The landscape was beautiful. Like the game just looked fantastic. And I don't even know how else to describe it. Like the city and everything looked really, really good. It was one of the best looking acts that I've gone through in like any ARPG, not just PoE in general. So I really loved the visuals in the act. The fights were I watched other people do the fights. Mechanically they were pretty good. For me, they weren't so good because I just like killed everything in like one hit. But I watched like Alk died to the freaking, the maze guy. I was
Yeah, I
Alk
watched
out of
that.
Gene. So the fights for other people were great. I loved watching them. For me, I think, yeah, it kind of just blew everything away. But yeah, I loved it. I love this patch in general. Obviously there's like a lot of other issues, but in terms of the campaign, it was great for me.
Yeah. No, I mean, I did the same thing actually. I watched like almost every clip of people dying, and then I kind of over prepared. I have like PTSD from Black Star in PoE1 where I went in blind and she did Astral Avalanche. I hid behind the pillar and it hit me anyway, and I was like, I'm never doing bosses blind again. Like the player was to log out. So that was yeah, I just over prepare for every boss now. But yeah.
I have a question for you
Um,
all. I have a question for you all. Did you feel like the campaign felt like a slog? The keyword. Did it feel like a slog to you in any way?
Like a slog on
that
spells.
was all that was talked about in 02. How much of a shift have we had?
So yes and no. And with how things are going, I think they really, really heavily need to reconsider alternate leveling methods for second character onwards. And I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I feel like GDD almost misunderstand what we're asking for and why we're asking for it. Because I remember you brought this up as a question once, or I did, I can't remember, but one of us brought this up as a question once, and Jonathan said, if I remember correctly, he said that if people still, maybe it was Chris even, if people still feel like they want alternative leveling after PoE2's campaign, they feel like they've failed. There's something like that they said, which I think that means that they're sort of misunderstanding it, because when it's that long, the main issue is that on your, let's say on your 8th character, right? Because a lot of us play this game a lot, and a lot of PoE players play this game a lot, right? So if you're on your 5th or 3rd, whatever it is, character, there is nothing on that character, no matter what you will find, that will be impactful to your other characters, your economy, anything. There's nothing you can ever do to make that happen either. So that already makes people very disinterested in doing the campaign for like their 5th time, 6th time in one season, I think.
What do you think is would be
I
better though, like for the campaign leveling?
Um, I think
So
people would like. Obviously, like Last Epoch has their solution, right? You can enter monoliths pretty early and stuff, or scale down maps. But I think the reason so many people want like alternative leveling is that it is a bit of a chore and they just want to get through it fast because that can't happen, right? Like you can never find anything super interesting. You're never gonna find like a best in stock crossbow. Like the rare gear you're finding is kind of irrelevant. You're just throwing out some twink gear and trying to get through it as fast as possible.
But that's just an ARPG problem in general, right? That's literally like that in every game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if I'm gonna do some alternative leveling with maps, I'm still gonna be bored. I'm gonna be honest, because I'm
That's
still
true.
not gonna find any items. I'm still not gonna find anything. Um, Mainly, I just want some movement speed. If you just give me some movement speed, I'm okay with doing the campaign. Like maybe if you finish some movement, if you like finish the campaign once, you get access to like 50 movement speed boots, and I'm chilling, right? But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. I do think like things like 7 League Step and PoE1 make this a lot better because
Yeah.
that's not something you can find on your first character. And I really like the idea of preserving that like initial experience, right? It should always be pure, if you will, with like that actual like long, hard first time experience. But
Even beyond the first time,
the
right?
fifth character playthrough once right now is gonna be rough, I think.
I think the first
personally,
character
I
of the
would-
league is great. No?
yeah.
Do you guys
Yeah.
actually enjoy it? Like, just out of curiosity, do you enjoy, like, even in PoE1, do you enjoy your first character of the league through the campaign?
Yes.
Because I love
100%.
that shit. Like, the first
Every
character,
time.
everyone's leveling
Every
up.
time.
It's really fun, right? So, okay, at least, okay, just for my own benefit
So
there.
I would only want to see shortcuts, I think. I don't know about like just
Hmm.
replacing campaign with maps or something. Like if they want to make a whole other alternate leveling thing that is its own unique thing, then yeah, maybe. But who's to say that won't just have the same problem?
Might.
But if like the often suggested thing is to just like let you go into maps right away, and I don't know, man. I don't know if that, like, I think maybe Rue touched on it there. It's like I think that maybe that would even just make those earlier levels boring. Maybe I don't know. What I would just want to see shortcuts, like more shortcuts. The ability to kind of bypass certain quests that aren't really very essential, because like you don't really need to tell the story fully again. You can have some shortcuts. You could even storyfy the shortcuts in some way. But like, okay, you're really powerful. If you're powerful enough, you can take some sort of shortcut where you kill a boss like under leveled or something, and if you can manage that, then that should be good. Because that's kind of what Last Epoch is doing that I like about what they do. I don't really like the going into monoliths at level 30 and having to go back and get the quest rewards. That I think is very awkward.
Yeah.
But what they do that I like is that you can go do basically their versions of like labyrinth trials, like their dungeons at a very underleveled level, and they are generally going to be very hard or not doable on most builds unless you know what you're doing, or it's the second character of the league and you're very powerful. In which case, if you can do it like 20 levels under leveled, then great, you get to skip like an act of the campaign almost. I think like a lot of smaller versions of that, like you can skip to the next boss instead of like going and finding some goober, some I don't know what do you call it, just like quest item. You just go there.
I wonder if it would be viable to like all the side quests you currently do for like extra skill points. If there was something you could do in the end game, like I don't know, like kill Arbiter, or maybe it's just something that happens after you finish the campaign, where some waypoints and some skill points are unlocked for new characters or something. I don't know. I don't know what the best thing.
Kind of like lab trials in PoE1. It feels good not having to do them on second playthrough, right? You're just like You're kind of like muscle memorying your way into the prison one. You're like, wait, I don't have to do this shit. And you just walk away.
Yeah.
Like that feels good, man. Like so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of lab trials, a lot of people dislike Trial of the Second in PoE2. Like they like borderline hate it. Have you guys had experience with like a lot of people complaining about this? Because I'm okay with it, right? But a lot of people like genuinely hate it.
It feels very easy now.
Yeah.
Compared.
It's always a bit of a surprise for me. That's probably my biggest unpopular opinion, because like it's one of my favorite contents. I actually genuinely really like it. When PoE2 first came out, I think I did 300 hours farming Trial of the Sakama. And it was like my favorite thing to farm. So that's like definitely like the most unpopular opinion I have, I think. Because you're right, like a lot of people really dislike it.
The worst Sekima run is better than like the best Trial of Chaos, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Like the Trial of Chaos to me is the one that I dread. It just
I
feels like
hate
such a
it. I
fun
hate,
tax. Like every modifier feels like ugh.
I don't like
I
Trial of
hate
You
Chaos.
everything about it.
actually get to do things and make decisions in Trial of Sekimas and get like you can do Sekimas runs where your character is stronger, and especially at endgame if you ever like try and farm it and get relics and stuff. It's like it's hard to go back to normal mapping on your character because you're like, I run faster, I dodge roll further, I have twice as much defenses, I blow things up.
Yeah,
Amazing.
Mathel had a really good take on Ultimatum on when I did stalling, and he was like, at least like Trial of Sekima has like fun buffs and stuff, whereas like
Yep.
Ultimatum is like, hey, what kind of vice around your balls would you like today? And it's like, it's very true, right? I'm just like, I'm hating it. And the thing is, like, I'm getting like trying as hard as I can to get the like worst painful or least painful vice around my balls.
Worst painful.
And then I get to
So
the
you're
ball,
a freak.
and it's like the fucking
Some
bird,
people.
which is like an apocalyptic awakener level god of death, and I'm just like, I just gotta
God.
reset. I'm not fighting the bird.
The patch notes were so funny because there's a line in the patch notes about how they made one of the bird's abilities not able to be avoided. That's what the wording says. It's like you
Yeah.
cannot like made this ability not avoidable. I'm like, that's like, ooh, that's in poor taste right now because I just watched a clip of someone like getting obliterated by some invisible ability that it does. And it's like,
Yeah.
I get that it's just like actually it's just fixing evasion against one of its slams. So I know what it's actually about, but just like, ooh, feels in poor taste right now with that bird.
I got a question though.
When I saw that, I was like, yeah, fuck it, buff it by 200% damage. I'm not doing it anyway. Do what you want. I don't care. Mad.
I got a question about Sekimas, right? Because I think Sekimas is like really good, but when I do a gauntlet room, it's really bad. I think the problem with Sekimas is
That's
the
fair.
gauntlet room, not the Sekimas. Like that shit's annoying. It's like 4 times longer than any other room, and that's where I lose all my resolve. And it's just I'm losing to objects, not monsters. You know, it's like what the what like it just feels bad like compared to the rest of it. Whereas the rest of it, you're kind of like rewarded in that you could just if you have a good build, kill the monsters fast or whatever else, right?
Yeah.
But the gauntlet, you're kind of just like gotta hit the lever,
So
whatever else.
you know how the ritual room with like a single ritual is a thing? I want
Yeah.
like the gauntlet rooms to be like that. Like it's a small hallway or some sort of like little single room thing, and it's like pretty difficult and dangerous. But when you do it, and if you're good at it and choose to do it, because you often can choose to either do or not do those, you will like feel good about it because like, oh yes, this is actually going to be like such a fast room because I do it. It's fast but risky. That's what I want those to be.
that
But
would be way better. If it's fast but risky, that would be actually
quite the
great.
slog.
You know, it's like long
Well-
and risky. You know,
long and
But you know what's
sloggy.
crazy about Sekima? If they triple the number of Arcanist boxes that place drops, nobody will complain anymore. Everybody will love that place. It's like Trial of
True.
Sekima is great. That's like
It was an option.
like-
that's like the
PoE
main
one.
thing with PoE players, right? You buff the loot, and then everyone's like that place is worth doing.
That's RPGs, man.
that-
It's the carrot stick.
That is a bit of my problem actually with Trial of Sekima this season, is that they sort of nerfed the loot heavily in Trial of Sekima by like Abyss can drop timeless jewels now, which I
I
was
was very
like,
surprised about that.
yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
why not keep that in Trial of Sekima? So I don't necessarily think that you should like just buff the raw currency drops, which would be a nice band-aid solution, because I do think like the generic drops of Trial of Sekima is a little bit low. It needs something else special that it's worth farming for, because right now it's pretty much just about the unique black diamond, right? That's like what I enjoyed farming about it so much, and that part is fun. But if you're not hitting that, then it just feels very like, why am I doing this? The generic drops are really low. So I would love them to maybe make another like Sekima specific reward to make it worth
Yeah.
farming. That would like go a long way for me, I think.
But I guess the original topic was
I mean,
actually
they-
about ascending rather than like the end game of it. But I agree with that. Sorry, what were you going to say, Rue?
Oh, I was just saying, like, I mean, it's like Sanctum, right? PoE 2 is just in the future, PoE 1. If Sanctum gave you currency in the first one, why wouldn't it give you currency in the second one?
They ran out.
It's like, I don't know. They ran out.
farmed
I
it off.
mean, they could just
Well,
buff
they
the
nerfed it in
Arcanist
PoE 1.
boxes, and I think it's all good.
It doesn't
Yeah,
give
it's
you
'cause they nerfed
currency
it.
in the first one
We're just
anymore,
seeing
basically.
future patches.
Yeah,
we
no,
got 20 years
I
of
do think they
patches
could
to
do.
it. That's what we're playing now. 20-year patch version.
Exactly. Exactly. But don't tell anyone, PoE1, it's actually Sanctum is like the highest currency per hour in the game. You actually
Still?
Yeah,
Because they did nerf it, didn't they?
No,
Yeah,
you just farm
it
the
is, yeah.
jewels and you make infinite. It's so OP.
Oh yeah. I am really excited for Tota though. Trial of the Ancients. It's quite the tease now that you go there and you're like, you'll know when the time has come. I'm like, yes, because there'll be a live stream reveal. I get it. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. They're very, very
So-
cute about that.
Do you think that like huge Tota arena is just gonna be for Tota, or do you think we're gonna have a huge epic boss fight against Hinekora as well?
Maybe surely there'll be something at the end of like the Uber Tota championship, right? You'd be like, that's it.
Tota
She gets
World
pissed off that
Cup.
her team loses and she
Well-
comes and fights you.
What I would love for Hinekora is a really crazy hard boss fight, where you can die. Like it doesn't actually kill your character, but it is disproportionately harder
it's a
than anything
game.
else in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if Toto was actually
See,
PvP,
I don't know if
by
like
the way?
I don't know if a player
I
versus boss fight makes sense in Toto though.
What you saying, Rue?
I have an opinion that I don't really even want to see any PoE1 mechanics in PoE2. I want them to make new ones. I've already done all this crap. I want to
Yeah.
I want to experience new stuff, man. I want to
I
see
get you.
new
Agree.
mechanics.
I mean, Abyss
I
feels
see
pretty
that,
new,
but
though,
like,
right?
do you like the remake of Abyss, or do you wish there was something completely new?
I like it, but it's just killing monsters. But
Yeah.
I think the mechanics of Abyss actually makes it like better because now you have unveils added in the game and you have all of
Yeah.
this stuff. You have all these new jewels and stuff that come with Abyss and stuff like that. That's the cool part about Abyss, but Abyss itself is just killing a big group of numbers. And Abyss is like really bad for performance for a large group of
Oh,
people.
yeah.
I
It's
have a
bad for
really high
everybody, yeah.
NPC.
I
And
get 20 FPS.
man, my FPS goes to like nothing. And I know you guys haven't gotten to that far yet, but there are maps on your Atlas where the whole entire map is just like abyss holes. And there's like thousands of monsters on your screen. And man, and I don't know, like Jonathan wants PoE2 to be a visceral combat game. I don't know how you're gonna get visceral about 1,000 dudes trying to gangbang you at the same time, right? Like it's you need massive clear.
It kind of feels like reverse engineered PoE1, right?
So representing like Team Mortar here, I don't know which ability are you using, Ziggy?
Explosive grenade, but I also have like the oil burning ground stuff, which is crazy.
Okay, so now I have 4 totems and I'm using cluster grenade, and my title recently has been the seizure cannon because it's literally I actually literally have sunglasses here because it is actually painful at times. Because I have been doing those abyss maps already, and it is completely fucked. Completely fucked.
It's crazy.
Flash grenade with Nova projectiles on cannons?
Yeah, that physically hurts. That actually physically hurts. Like it stings on my eyes. So I was like, I'm not doing flash grenade. Somebody in my chat was like, you gotta try it. And I was like, that hurts. But even with like cluster grenades, it's so wild, dude. Like I might have to reroll, not because of the power of the build, but because my eyes are starting to hurt.
Your stream is unwatchable. Okay, I love you, Ziz, but your stream is unwatchable. Like, not only have you like maximized the AoE and visual spam and actual mag rate and seizure inducing, but you're playing with the overlay map, and it's like at such high opacity as well. Like whatever. Like
because otherwise you can't see it, bro. I have the same problem. It's just spam on my screen, so I have to put it like max. Otherwise, it's like, I don't know where I'm going, bro.
I look like I'm looking at one of those just like unhinged like Korean MMOs or something, where it's just like all this stuff on screen. It's like 500 characters on screen on top of each other, and it's like some weird thing. I'm like, what even is this?
What's he supposed to do? Don't hate the player, hate the game, man.
Well, that's the thing. Like I have been asking for an opacity slider for a very long time. It's time. Like somehow PoE2 has worse visual clarity than PoE1.
Actually true. It's actually true. It's actually true.
Yeah. I really want.
I'll be honest. I can't see anything when I'm mapped. I just run in the middle of everything, and I hope everything dies before I die because I can't see anything.
It's like
you play grenades as well,
problem because like grenades, for example, you want them to be a big, cool, chunky, cool looking explosion, right?
Yeah.
And like a part of making our builds bigger is making those explosions happen more often and making them bigger and making more of them. That is how we
Yeah.
scale. So fundamentally an issue there. And if you
Yeah.
do just add like a slider, like maybe you can tamp down on a little bit, but then at a certain point it's making that build not feel good anymore, right? Like we like to think that we're not swayed by things like fancy packaging, but we absolutely are. Like if your skills don't sound and look impressive, then your build won't feel as good. You won't think your build is as good. Literally, people, like, it's the classic thing in PV1, you put an MTX on your skill and it's instantly better.
As a thought experiment, though, is that like something that wears off? Because I feel like at first that would be like slider all the way, but then over time I would just be like, yeah, I'm sick of this shit now. Like that's why it's a slider.
I agree with
right?
that. I think it's very important in the start and feeling out a build, but it's
Yeah.
usually something I would like very much like to remove because I, especially on hardcore, really want to see more of what my enemies are doing.
It's just unfortunate for the
Mhm.
viewing experience because then you'd have sort of like
Yep.
no coherence, right? So that's like if the GGG angle is like, oh, we just want the game to look the same for everybody. I understand, but it actually does make playing the game worse. So about like balancing it too, I suppose. Rue wanted to say something.
Can I have a small complaint? Can they stop putting green floor with green on death effects with
Yeah.
green monsters around them? Because it's really, really bad. Like no one can see shit. And then you're
The
just
abyss
like,
stuff.
and then there's like a black dot that does like 1,000 life to you per second, and you running through it, and you're just like, it like out dots your life flask.
Yeah.
And it's really, really bad. I can't see anything when it comes to abyss.
Those green
I'm
Well,
gonna be
bubbles
honest.
as well.
my biggest pet peeve is like the green blobs that
Yeah,
do
yeah.
like crazy damage. And like,
They want
you know,
alive.
there's two things that detonate when you go on top of them. There's the really scary, huge ones that like have like a big charge up. They do like 1/10 of the damage of the tiny blobs. And the blobs are even worse because they spawn out of those like small goblin-like things. But if you kill one while it's on top of you, it just instantly detonates. So I'm
Yeah.
just like, oh god.
Like you have to take a clip and then analyze, and then still yet you might not see what killed you. Like we had to like genuinely go CSI mode, and it's like, is it that? And it's like so small and unassuming that you're like, nah, there's no way it's that. And then you see like it pops, my character just disappears, bro. And yeah, so it's I don't know how you guys are gonna do it
Yeah.
in HC. Like you need some serious defenses to survive that stuff.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. Energy
I have
shield,
maybe
it's
like
good.
a thought experiment here. What is a build that has amazing visual clarity, but still feels chunky and satisfying to play? Like, is there any examples of that? I'm wondering. Maybe chat. knows.
Lightning arrow, Deadeye.
I was
True.
gonna say.
That's pretty spammy though, right? Like, because you got the lightning rods going flashing
Oh,
everywhere
ED,
and shit like
ED.
that.
The
thinking
contagion
it's
is so
gotta be-
satisfying as well, yeah.
Does that have that kind of like
The
dot
melty feeling.
caster
It's like-
feel, which is satisfying in its own way, but not
Yeah.
but it's not kind of like chunky though, right? So how would you translate that to chunky builds? So I think like the dot builds historically have been good. Contagion builds have been really good for that.
Yeah.
Is there any examples that feel like, because that captures the damage over time feel nicely?
Yeah. I want to give maybe an example, but it's PV1. Like when you threw one seismic trap, I feel like that had pretty okay visual, but when you threw like 10, that was a problem, right? Like, but if it was like one seismic trap, it was like
if I throw one explosive grenade, the visual's fine too.
yeah,
like,
but then
never gonna happen.
but then that means that maybe they need to, instead of like having 10 grenades on top, like overlay them into one big one, or
I mean,
you know.
this is a very good point. Like, I do think there should be incentives to turn grenades into single projectile. Like, I'm surprised that there's not some sort of like convergence support gem. Yeah, merging support gem where it's like you're turning your extra projectiles into like, you know, damage scaling or something like that. So instead, so that you can like make nuke grenades that are only going off every now and then. Like that would like design is actually a way to help this a lot. Like make things like concentrated effect more appealing, make things that do less projectiles and incentivize that. Because right now, especially now that they've added, so you can add multi-shot to every grenade, why wouldn't you add multi-shot to every grenade, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
max projectiles.
Yeah, I
Okay,
mean,
but real talk.
last Epoch had something like that where there was like a chaos move. I can't remember the names of anything, but like you would like throw the balls that like radiate chaos damage basically. But if you like cast it on top of them, it like merge them all together and make like one large
One
AoE
big
instead.
one.
That was really cool. Yeah, that was it.
Okay, real talk. If invisible skill effects existed for $20, would you buy it?
Yes.
Like you just make your skill invisible.
I would probably have
Yes,
to
I
for
have
some
bought
skills.
I've done it
but
in before, like for MTXs that were better visibility. There has been
Yeah.
examples of that in
Void
PV1.
Spark.
I've purchased skills that had better visibility. Yeah.
I
I'd be
mean,
Red
I am
pissed, but I would buy it.
literally,
Vanilla Stormcall unplayable. MTX Stormcall pretty good.
I'm literally going to make a new character so that I'm like not exposing my audience to like 16 hours of like eye cancer per day. I'm gonna do like a Thorns build or a
Like a
ED build.
detox.
Yeah, just like to like, okay, you guys can relax and actually look at the screen now. Like it's so powerful and I love the mortar. But obviously, like there's the problem with like defense in hardcore. Like ES might kind of be the easiest way to actually tank in the game. And yeah, it's rough.
Can I recommend you a Thorns guide?
Yes, please. Is it by Quid?
I heard no
No, I was
tourists
joking. I was joking.
on the Thorns guide.
He's drama
The other
baiting.
guy, I forgot about that. I forgot about that. I forgot that that's what he did. So well, Son of Seven, I saw this really cool thing about Thorns this morning that he messaged me, and that's like there's a Thorns support that go on auras, right? And it's like Thorns 2 is 70% increased damage with Thorns. But you can stack that. You could have 6 of those now because you can and they actually work. So it costed a lot of spirit, but mercenary gets tactician gets 50% less spirit cost. So you can just
Oh,
run
God.
a ton of auras, invest a bit into spirit, and then you can have 5 or 6, 70% more damage with thorns.
Don't tell me that.
Tactician's cool.
You bait me into a Thorns build.
I mean, they're really
I'm
good. Ziggy. They're
literally-
actually really
That's good
good.
tech.
Actually, really OP.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
And it
legit
kind of gets
OP.
cooler. It kind of gets cooler because Tactician has let me see if I can open, I think I have POV open here. Tactician has that node, which is called Stay Light, Use Cover, right? Which is defend with 200% of armor. Enemies
Yeah.
have accuracy penalty against you based on distance. Max chance to evade is 50%, and max fist damage reduction is 50%. Doesn't say anything about elemental mitigation. So you're getting basically double the effectiveness of all your physical damage taken as elemental because you're still defending with 200% armor, which is now
Yeah.
affecting elemental, and that is uncapped.
Yeah, but that's
And
pre-res.
Oh, yeah.
yes, but you also have so little things to scale you. So you actually get to strength stack. You probably get 4, maybe 5k life. You get 80 to 90 max res, however much you can invest in, right? So you actually get a lot of tank there. And it's still gonna matter if you get 50k armor, which is basically then 100k armor against elite. That is a number that
That's
matters.
really good. That is really good. Yeah.
And
100K is a
on
number
top of
that matters.
that, 100% of armor. No wait, what is it? You get you get the deflect thing, right? It's like 20% of your armor value is deflect, and then you do iron reflexes, and you do glancing blows. You might not even need iron reflexes, but either way, you do glancing blows, which massively buffs your chance to deflect. Like on my character, which I only have 4,000 armor, I have 36% chance to deflect. Which obviously it's not important as a main defense, but it's definitely gonna make a difference.
Yeah. I hate the deflect mechanic, by the way.
Speaking of
Like,
deflect,
it's terrible. I'm so angry at its implementation. It's so fucking annoying.
Say more
Like
words,
you
Black.
can't cap it. First of all,
I agree.
second, it's just like it just hasn't. It's not entropic. So you're like, I don't know this for a fact, but it doesn't feel that way. But like you have, it's a complete dice roll on already something that's dice roll technically, which is evasion. So they just added like evasion squared. Like what do you like? We were told you'd be able to cap it, but you need so much of it to cap it that you're just at a point where obviously in PoE it's opportunity cost. So you're just better off just going ES instead. You just get way more HP. Like damage reduction doesn't matter when you just get HP.
Is the problem. Like, do you really want another suppression where he's just like checkbox cap it?
Yes.
I think the second part of your
Yes.
sentence there is like, but so it's better to go ES. Like,
Well,
if it was,
I want something
as
that's
a layer
reliable,
was
right?
fine without needing to be capped.
Well, the problem is
and
life.
evasion, life overall
It starts
felt
from
good.
life. I just have not enough
Yeah.
of it. So that means that I cannot tank a hit. So I'm walking over a green bubble and it blows me up. I don't want it to 70% of the time not blow me up and then 30% blow me up, right? Like that's when I have one portal and I'm investing in my maps, that's just
Yeah.
straight bullshit. Like and like I'm saying one portal and Ziz is probably like, oh, first world problems, I have one life, But like it matters because you're designing the game around punishing people for not building tank, but then you make your tank complete dice roll. It's just not good. Like it would be okay if I could be like, oh, I'll just get some life to sort of like, weather, like have it less often happen, right? Like, but you can't do that. So instead you just get blue life instead and you win. It's unconditional, right, at that point. So
I think like if
The-
you could, rather than just being kind of like a binary cap or uncap thing, if it was a thing where like the further you scaled it up beyond 100% chance to get a deflection, you'd get like greater magnitudes of deflection. So you got like a small deflect. So you could, maybe it would be pretty easy to get like 20% mitigation and 100 cap, like get a cap for that. But to like get a 40% deflection, that takes a lot more investment.
yeah, 40% is a high number, so I'm okay with that, but it needs to be reliable to some degree, right? It can't just be either you die or you don't on a one portal map and then have no alternative outside of stacking ES. What are your thoughts?
What
Rudy?
were you saying?
I have a great idea. All right, this is like game breaking and revolutionary, right? What if they deleted deflection and they added max life onto the tree?
Yeah, it's just life. Life is
Literally.
honestly the problem. The biggest problem with the game right now is there's not enough life. Like, because even before, like the problem wasn't evasion. The problem is that like you just didn't have enough life on top of your evasion, right? So when you don't evade, you die. So and now we have the problem of like you don't evade and then you don't deflect, you die. So it's like, oh, okay, we just don't have enough HP if you're not building ES. Or if you're
I
not
really
border or whatever, I suppose.
I really liked the idea initially of no life nodes in the tree. I thought that was a really cool idea, but I don't know if they just need to inherently give us a lot more life while leveling. If
or
that's like the
base.
case, but like if you removed energy shield from the game right now, our defenses for the end game are so fucked. Like it is genuinely so rough. Like obviously you can do it on softcore trade, but like on hardcore trade, the market is like very rough. Like very few people are playing. If you're wondering how few, there is not a single Lesser Stormmarine for sale on the auction house. Not one, by the way. So it's a very, very rough economy on hardcore.
That's actually crazy.
Yeah,
That's worse than a private league.
Getting really good gear is very, very in a tough spot, and obviously SSF is even worse, right? Because you don't have crazy farm potential. Now, the mapping stuff isn't as bad, but it does give you an indication of how low the stock of things are. So getting proper defense is rough.
What's the real point of adding a RNG defensive layer on top of an RNG defensive layer? It's like there's no point.
Exactly.
I don't even know why we have deflect, and it's so badly tuned. On top of that, right? You need 70,000 evasion to get the 88% deflect. 70,000 deflection rating.
So much.
That's like your whole entire character. It's so badly optimized.
I agree, because what evasion really needs, right, is the equivalent of a Kintsugi, the chest in PoE1, that like when you do get hit, you take less damage, because the entire purpose of evasion is you're not going to get hit a lot, but you need something to prevent you from getting one shot when you are getting hit.
True.
So yeah, it's rough for sure, like the current state of the defense in the game, and I do think they'll fix that over time. But I definitely miss life right now.
I would love if deflect was a Kintsugi style effect. So if what you built with deflect was how much damage reduction you get if you haven't been hit for X amount of time, and you can scale those different factors. I think that would be way more fun version of deflect.
So exactly, that's what I was gonna say. The way I would like deflect to work is if you're getting hit 3 or 4 times recently, it does nothing. Literally like 5% to 0% damage reduction. But yeah, like you can get deflect to 100%. And it's 40% damage reduction. If you get hit again within 4 seconds, it's maybe only a 20% damage reduction. So
that's a good idea.
That keeps
pretty good idea.
Yeah, that keeps the intended theme, right? Of you still want to stack high evasion, and you can't just throw it on every single build. because that was the big fear. I think a lot of us thought deflection was going to be super OP. Like, why the fuck would you not cap evasion in every single build? This is just warriors get fucked, right?
Yeah.
But I think this would make it very evasion specific, achieve the goal for evasion, and keep it in theme.
You know how people complain about armor being shit? GGG was like, hold my beer. Let me
Yeah.
show you deflection.
Bro, I crashed out today, so I had an argument with
Armor's
someone who's
pretty
like,
good, though.
it's like deflection is OP, and I'm like, bro, just put the numbers in a calculator. It's not OP. Just like you can literally put the numbers in. Like it was like I was talking to a flat earther, bro, almost like like trying to convince me it's broken. I'm like, well, it's not, because like you look here, you put the numbers in, and like you look, I have the receipt, and it's like, no, you don't understand. You're just a noob. Bro, I was like actually going crazy. Like,
It's a tourist.
but it's like, bro, you get ES and you don't have conditional anymore, and there's so many good tools for you to get ES back. You know, there's Ghost Shroud, there's Essentia Sanguis, there's Chevron's Belt. Obviously,
Yeah.
like off the top of my head, that's all. But you know, it's like it's a good defense, and everybody's gravitating towards it, and they don't want to nerf it, but they're not giving adequate sort of alternatives for people that are not stacking it. It's just frustrating to see that, especially since like the pitched version of deflection was just so much better than what we got, right? So that was even more disappointing, that ending the campaign on a full pure evasion based character being 20 evasion. Like, what is that, bro? Like the current curve is just so difficult to get your character
Yeah.
off the ground that it just seems like a little bit heavy-handed on their side in regards to.
Yeah, I agree. It's like, I'm tactician, and obviously I didn't get much choice of what to wear, right, during the campaign. But at some point I had like 900 armor and 900 evasion. And I know like the numbers aren't correct because the formulas are weird, right? But I remember looking at my armor, said 45% armor mitigation with 900, and my evasion said 0. And I'm like, hold
Zero,
on,
yep.
hold
Yeah.
on, this is the same
It's so
amount.
weird.
Like, I was like,
Like,
what's
is
happening
this
here?
bug?
Yeah,
Why
I
is
was
this
like, is this
thing?
bug? Like, surely I can dodge it a little bit.
Like, how is it 0? It's like,
Yeah.
because even deflection, like the first like 400, you get like 400 deflect rating, and it gives you like 10%.
A little
So it's
bit.
like even that first bit like has like, it does a lot, but apparently not for evasion.
Yeah.
Like the heck?
Yeah.
Because even Piri 1 had like guaranteed 5% evade rate, right?
Yeah.
It need to be more gifty and early, I think, is like what it feels like to me. Like the game really needs to not be like Act 1 when you enter is the most difficult thing you'll ever experience, right? Because it kind of feels that way, where it's like I get it. You want the start to be sort of like it's the only place where you can truly control balance is when people first spawn in. So you want them to have like that difficult experience, and I just assume that that's why they're so like adamant on keeping it a certain way. But it then, like, if by the end of the acts I'm still unable to take control of my character, then it's just like what's going on, man? Like it's too heavy-handed.
Like, so yeah, I mean, I think we all agree defense in PoE 2 needs a lot of work, especially we just need more options, and some of them need to be reworked. But I think we'll end the defense discussion there, because I actually want to talk about another thing too, which is skill and build disparity. And obviously we've all seen the numbers on stats. So I'll have, after I finish, I'll have Rue take this one to start. But obviously we saw that was like 81% Deadeye in top 100 or top 1000. I can't remember what it was. But it was very, very large numbers. Do you think there is a skill diversity issue, or do you think it's more the fact that they released the skill, they didn't release the skill tree basically, and stuff like that until super late? What do you think, Rue?
Oh man, I feel like the whole balance of the game is rotten, and I'm pretty positive about all the other stuff about PoE 2, but the balance of the game is just rotten to the core. Items are way too powerful. The skill tree is not powerful enough. And it just creates this whole like atmosphere of like you're just like in struggle town. Oh, the game is a walkthrough. That's how I feel like the game is currently, because as soon as you get any sort of items, the game becomes just so much easier than what you experienced in the previous, like, acts or whatever, right? So I think the whole entire balance of the game is just rotten. I think they need to redo all of it. They need to like boost the baselines. They need to nerf the skills so they don't interact with items as hard, and then you might get like a more balanced game, because right now, like all the bosses die in a second, right? When you have good gear to like every single skill.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, like the undertuned skills, they don't do anything. They don't do anything
Yeah.
at all. You're like, you can fight an Act 2 boss for 20 minutes because the skills are so undertuned. So I think there's a lot of work to be done. And this is like a discussion that I can talk about for hours and not just, 1 minute on a podcast.
Well,
Yeah,
do you
same.
think that the skill diversity is better than last patch though? Because I genuinely do, even though the numbers are worse. I do feel like there's a lot of different builds that are super viable this time, and I think that's the numbers are the way they are a lot because people panic. I feel like a lot of people, especially that aren't good at making their own builds, are like, "Fuck it, Fubgun seems really confident in this Deadeye thing, and everyone's saying it's going to be good. Let's just start with Deadeye, and then I'll try other stuff later." I think if we had full skill tree, full patch notes a week earlier, I think it'd be wildly different percentages on what's played.
I agree.
I have another complaint about this. They release information on patch notes, and then they
And then they
start
change
nerfing
it.
thing when like you make a
When you
build from
theory
it.
craft.
It is the most toxic thing
I lost
for
2
like the
builds,
community
man.
for them to do this.
Yeah.
It is so beyond toxic. Like when you release the information, release it. Like be like POU1 and just like do it. If there's something like that's like horrible, right? You're gonna one shot every single boss and like everything is gonna die in a split second. You're gonna dash through the map at like 5 million movement speed and it makes the whole game unplayable. I get it, right? But like nerfing like random builds by like 50% damage before a leak start is it's just toxic. That's all I have
Can
to
you
say
be
about that
specific?
subject.
Because I didn't pay attention to that. I didn't notice that.
I got 2 builds
last week-
destroyed before I could even start. Like I was planning on playing like 2 things, and then it's like, oh no, we just removed that, and we just removed that one too. It's like really weird. Like last week as well, Rue had the same experience, right? And another thing as well, like I plan on playing Arc with rods, and it's just like an undocumented change. It's like, oh, it just doesn't interact with rods anymore. Like, oh, like things like that, like they're pretty relevant. And I know it's because of like the wording that all of a sudden it's no longer an orb or whatever the hell, but like the uncertainty creates people gravitating towards one thing that they know is the sure bet, and that creates a stale meta regardless of if there is a big variety, right? As is said. So it's yeah, uncertainty, and then the fact that they just keep nerfing things as you're getting closer to the actual D-Day is like really sad.
Yeah. Go on, Siggy.
Good.
I can give
Okay.
I can give some examples. Before leak started,
Okay.
I wanted to play 3 builds. Acidic Concoction, Spiral Volley, and Snap. And all 3 of them got nerfed like a day before the game came out. And that's like, I don't know, man. There's
Adding a
like
cooldown to
stars
Snap.
aligning and there's like stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's really tilting. Like, but
Yeah, I
back on
can
the
see
subject.
both sides. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, back on the subject, I think items are so powerful in PoE2, you can play anything you want once you get items. Like once you get past the League Star hump, like items are so powerful, you can pick up some random build, some random skills, and you could just go smash face. I'm gonna be honest. That's how powerful items are in PoE2 because the skills are like, they have that much of a multiplier on your items, right? So yeah, once you get past the hump, it's just free. It's just go time.
It's true.
Yeah, I mean, I see both sides, right? Because in one way, it's sort of nice to, if there's something like you said that's going to be completely game breaking, get it like done before. Like you don't want a week 1 patch, right, where your build just gets gutted. That's terrible. But on the other hand, when something's just strong, you're sort of like disincentivizing content creators and build creators to be public about their build, and you're encouraging people to hide things, right? Like I remember there was a guy in my chat called Fox McRave, and he found the Winter Orb interaction with those. You remember the Shrek guy in PoE1? He drops like the multi-proj gloves, and he had a really, really cool interaction with those. It was not broken, but it was
Zenith?
very strong. for like the budget with like Totem Winter Orb and just shitting out projectiles.
Yeah.
Now he had been playing that for 2 weeks, and he was like, "Sis, I really want to show off this cool interaction." And I was like, "Wow, this is so cool!" And they were 1C, so I even bought several, corrupted them, got a good corruption on them, and then started playing it. And literally 1 day after I started streaming it, the bill got nerfed. And like stuff like that is a little unideal, right? Because you are then incentivizing people. Like he even said, like, I'm never showing Ziz a build again. Like next time I find something powerful, I'm just gonna play it off stream. So it's sort of the same thing, right? You're sort of disincentivizing like people sharing their findings before patch when you are doing that. So I can see both sides. Yeah, Black seeing it, that was it.
I mean, the devs have to know they can't stop like us anyways. Like, what are they gonna do? I'm still playing like 3 days in the league. I'm running through 130 movement speed, destroying the whole screen. Like, you know, like they're not gonna stop me anyways. Like, just put more builds in the game so everyone can have fun, right?
Exactly. The issue as well is that a lot of them weren't really like reactions to, oh, this is broken. Like putting a cooldown on snap was just straight up like what? Like what do you, and you log in and you play the spells and you just like, you're just dealing like 17 times less damage than a monk pressing one button, bro. Like, and like, I understand that it is playable. I can get gear and make it decent, but the thing is like, I'm playing a different game. Like, and if you're doing that, the game is inherently made for people to care about what other people are playing. Otherwise, League Start wouldn't be such an event. That's the whole purpose of League Start and Fresh Starts, is that you care about starting on equal footing with everybody else. That's the environment that's created by the developers by design. So being like, oh, you don't care about what other people are playing, that's like, well, it's like, yeah, sure, to some extent, but by design, you're sort of like, it's like you're meant to care, right? And so like when you see a monk doing one button and you're pressing 17 to like deal 10 times less, that's demoralizing to say the least, right?
Yeah.
And if we struggle as content creators, imagine fucking people logging in for free weekend, man. Like, and then we're apparently the tourists, right? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's weird. Like, it's like, if we're not doing well, how do you think other people are doing? Like, we have thousands of hours in Path of Exile. We understand the basics, the basic fundamental of Path of Exile 2 by virtue of knowing PoE1, right? Like, we are pretty decent at this game by default in comparison to somebody who comes in fresh. So like, if we're struggling, other people are struggling. It's just, that's how it works.
See?
Don't use the T word, bro. Don't use the T word.
I'll stop.
All right, let me think about how to put this. So being a Path of Exile 2 player right now requires you to be able to hold multiple true but conflicting opinions right now when it comes to balance. It is a complicated thing to do, and that makes it a complicated thing to discuss. So, it is miraculous that they can even get any level of balance in at the game with the amount of changes they're putting out. They do not have time or staff to be able to test the amount of content they're putting in each patch and the impacts of these changes. Like, there is no way that there's going to be any sort of balance. I also think it's true that, like, to an extent, it is a folly to focus so much on balance right now with the amount of stuff that's changing. But here's the conflicting opinion part. It's also true that they need to achieve some level of balance, both for like people's enjoyment of the game right now and to avoid some of these frustrations, but also just for their testing. How can they even tell if what they're implementing is any good? How can they even tell if their support gem changes are good? Like, unless the balance is to a certain point. It's also true that they shouldn't make changes within a league, but it's also true that they probably need to make changes within a league.
They should.
It's also true that they should release. Well, hold on, they should release the patch notes, and they should be sacrosanct and not changed so that we can make plans. But it's also true that they need to make those changes right then, because that's the only when else would they make the changes? They can't make it in the league. They have to make the changes within that first week. And posting stuff that, like, they're working up until like the time it launches, right, and then beyond, for one. But also, I mean, so like the players are able to help them realize that, oh shit, they're planning builds around something we didn't realize would even be a thing. Like, there's interactions that we didn't even consider.
I think it should be very reserved. Mid-league nerf should only be for something like the what was the Aura Guardian thing called? Like stuff like that, right? Where it's completely broken.
Vols, I
Anything
remember.
like and like the do you remember the suicide totems from Crucible? Things like that, I
Mm.
wouldn't mind seeing nerfed, right? If it's like more damage than anything else on a 5C budget, sure, nerf it. Other than that, probably wait till next season to nerf it. What I would like to see more of is mid-season buffs, like skills that are just insanely underperforming. Like I'm talking like this is just not viable unless you're literally throwing the kitchen sink of divines at it.
Yep.
Just buff it with 40%, dude. Literally. And just like just literally up the numbers mid-season. Like there's
Is it
something
no?
can't be viable.
Is it known and understood right now that GGG wants to be getting like passive tree and planning ability out ahead of time? Like I don't know if that's known and understood. That is their
That's
desire.
been a ritual for
They
Path of
have
Exile 1, right?
technical issues. They haven't been able to
Yeah.
recently. Yeah, which is
Yeah,
a problem.
they-
And
Yeah.
They did
I do
want
think
to.
a lot of people's first week issues here are because of that lack of ability to plan. So I do think they need to be making changes up to the last day, but I do think we need to have more ability to plan. So they need to be making those on live. Like we need to have access to like a live API of this. I don't know how technically difficult something like this would be, but if they were able to make changes as they go and it was much easier for that to filter out to our initial planning, that would help a lot. I think there's so many disparate, separate individual complaints about specific balance things or mechanics or stuff not working or people discovering late that something didn't work together or whatnot that made and dominated the conversation for like the first week. And what seems to be happening now is as that's settling in, now that people have the ability to plan and build creators are able to create builds and it's a bit more settled in, a lot of that stuff is not as big an issue now. You know, people are enjoying the content.
For sure.
They're finding the builds that are working. I like they talk about those like true and conflicting statements now. Like, yeah, Deadeye Lightning Arrow is very strong, and maybe like it's the obvious choice. But there's like also so many other really strong things. Like it's definitely way overrepresented. But like balance issue from the perspective of there being like nothing to play except one specific meta build or two specific builds is like way overblown. There's so many things to play, right? There's
Anybody
so
that
many
says
broken
that is
things
being
to play with.
disingenuous, right? Like, let's be honest, that's so hyperbolic, right? That's
yeah.
I think
people didn't have like a safe way to know what they
exactly.
Could play
it's just
time.
about
Like
safety. People don't want to
So
like
people
sacrifice
go to
league
what they
start.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Exactly.
definitely a big part,
Ziggy,
right?
I mean, Ziggy, as content creators, we gave people options. They just nerfed them all one day before the
Yeah.
league. People were planning to play all of these skills. They were planning to play Snap. They were planning to play Spiral Volley. They nerfed them one day before the league started.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah,
I
ideally
agree
they
with
get the passive tree out and the chain and the skill gem interactions. I especially want like skill gem interactions and stuff like that to be out.
Those things weren't even
earlier.
broken as well. I think it was a very like knee-jerk reaction to like I genuinely I don't know, like I don't want to speculate what's going on at GGG, but it just feels like they didn't personally have experience and thought that maybe what we were making was broken, when in reality I feel like we were just making okay builds.
Literally, how could they? Like, how can they do this? Like, that seems like an impossible task to me to like know what is
absolutely.
what is going to be a massissive problem, what's not going to be a problem. Like,
yeah, they're stuck between a rock and a hard place.
They have to go with their gut on some of this.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, right? Like, I don't think very strong builds are a big issue because of the cyclical nature of RPGs.
Yeah.
Like, even something as broken, which I use this as an example a lot, the suicide totems, which were completely broken. The fact that something like that exists for 4 months, really not the end of the world one season. Like, it ends up being a fun memory for people. Like, oh, it was kind of cool. I got to play a really, really powerful build for cheap one season. And it's like, it's not like there's, I would say like they are really good in PoE 1, particularly on balancing, where there's usually not anything that cheap, that broken, right? That's quite rare that would see anything that's literally 5C for 100 million damage. So if it comes along every now and again, I think that's better than changing things last minute. Like, just let people have some broken stuff for 4 months.
Can I say something? One more thing about balance. I feel like skill balance is like it's good, but I think GGG should really take the approach they had in PvE1 and let content balance the skills for you. Because in PoE1, like there's so many different content that you can do. That's some you need single target, some you need movement speed, some you need like, you know, like defense, right? And then like you can make all of these different cool builds to like do those content. And then that kind of balances out your game for you because everyone has something to do. Everyone has something to build. In PoE2, the main content is maps. Like if you're gonna nerf things, don't even nerf single target damage. You need to be nerfing like clear power because like, you know, that's all you do in PoE2. You just run around and you just freaking farm maps all day, right? So I think they have like the balance sort of backwards and they're nerfing like single target where they should just be nerfing like clear, to be honest.
Yeah, fair point. Though
Yeah.
Because
My take on the like mid-season nerf thing when I think something is a problem, I agree. I think like it's very fine for something to have like a really ridiculous play rate within a league. So I think any one build can be like ridiculously overpowered right now, and it's not an issue. Post-launch, that will change, I think, because then we start talking about like the fine-tuning of like, okay, this is affecting too much. Like too many people are playing this, and they feel like they shouldn't play anything else because they feel like idiots for playing other things. That's a problem for later, I think. Right now, I think where the line should be drawn is when something is affecting many builds. So if there is something that it warps lots and lots of builds, like every build feels like they need to take this or do this. So I think like that Energy Shield's a good example right now. Like it affects too many builds, like too many like warriors and evasion characters and stuff are being like, well, I should go evasion ES. Like it would be stupid to do anything else. Or yes, I should make my warrior an ES warrior. Like it's the only same thing to do. It's affecting too many builds. So that's the stuff where like I think they should consider mid-league changes because that, in my mind, ruins their test results more than just like a specific build being strong. And like chasing specific builds right now seems just like a fool's errand because like there's going to be so many, and whatever thing you nerf or change or whatever, there's going to be like 500 other ones to take their place. But the
some things are
broad
crazy
stuff
though. Some things are out of
seems like more
control.
important. Yeah.
Some things really are. Like there's some blood mage running around right now
Sure.
with like 9k life and 7k regen. It's like, oh, with infinite damage. It's like, oh, all right.
Wow.
I guess playing anything but that sucks. Which like I think
Yeah.
that's the outlier where it would be sort of be like that needs to be looked at. Like maybe. But I think the ES problem is like prevalent, but it just more shines a light on what isn't strong enough rather than what is too strong, in my opinion. Because defenses in this game are like we're at infant stages where there's still so much stuff to come, and we don't know how much defenses are gonna scale from now on. So like if they were to like add more and difficult content, like then that means that our tools are still gonna be the same as we have them now to some extent, as outside of potentially like some broken uniques. But broken uniques are always like an endgame thing that is not relevant to the base power. But at the moment, the base power is there's just too much disparity between, you know, the base power of somebody who logs in north side of the tree or right side of the tree to someone who logs in on left side of the tree. So that in itself is like balance needs to be looked at without items as in context, so that they can get like the axe feeling good, and then there needs to be more balance applied to items, but that sort of needs to be treated in a way kind of like two individual ways to look at balancing, because sure, end game is important, but like early game is ever so more important now, especially with how difficult it is to get through the campaign for most people, right? Like for us, I suppose it's easier, but most people will take like 40 hours plus, like even more, no? So
You're getting a
that
patch
part,
in 30 minutes.
Nice, actually, they nerfed my
I'll
build
read
in
it
30
and
minutes.
see what-
oh, my
so
build's about to be fixed. My build's about to be fixed.
They're
I'm so
about
happy.
to nerf my build, so I'm really excited as
Oh,
well.
I'm so
My
happy.
pet!
Oh, my pet's going away. But dude, I've been waiting for this patch for so long. Okay, but here's the thing. Here's my main complaint. I know I complain a lot, and people are like gonna be like, "Oh, Rue's bitching too much." But like GGG has the deflect formula, right? It's not like we have it. They have it. They can just enter the number, and they could be like, "Oh, at 80,000 evasion, they have 78% or 88% chance to deflect for 40% damage. Is that good? And they could just look at the number and be like, no, that's kind of ass. Like, no one's going to do this, right? Like,
Yeah.
why would anyone invest their whole entire character for less than 40% damage reduction? Like, it's just like, why release it like that? Because
Yeah.
it's so simple. I think, in my opinion.
I kind of agree with that too. It's like a bit sort of rude to say it, but it's like, man, especially when you say like you can overcap it, it's good, but then you get in game and it's like, what? It's not good. We can't overcap it.
So
What's going on?
I actually have a question, and I don't know if this is just like me as a hardcore player, but I personally have always felt like DDD over police defense in a bit of a weird way, in my opinion, because they're very like if there's ever an immortal build, I'm talking literally immortal, or even like extremely tanky, where you can face tank every ability in the game. They're often very, very quick to fix or nerf that. There's been like 2 or 3 literal immortal builds. They're very, very fixed to nerf that. Whereas you can actually quite easily, especially in PoE1, quite easily get to the point where you have literally billions of damage, which effectively gives you immortality, right? Like if you go into a boss fight and you snap it and it's dead, you're effectively immortal. And I've always been a little bit like surprised at like, I don't know. I feel like they almost over police defense sometimes.
Fair point. I felt the same actually. I've observed the same, especially in PoE1. Anytime there's anything that's like remotely too strong tanky wise, it's just gone within a few leagues.
Yeah, like specifically, I remember the first time I made a build that was immortal to the Minotaur. And I had like the like increased fist damage while standing still. I had a brass dome. I had like 300k armor, and it was just loads and loads. And I actually like was not in danger of the Minotaur. I could go AFK there, and I thought that was really cool. And I remember somebody asked like, "Can you die here?" And I was like, "No, I'm using all these mechanics," and I listed everything, and I was really excited about it. And I've specifically created this character to face tank the Minotaur. I can't die. And I thought that was so much cooler, and I think it's cooler for a new player to see because you at least get to see all the mechanics and you get to see the fight. Whereas I think that's so much cooler than I remember watching Jung Run farm Eater Worlds on hardcore once with Incinerate Mines or something, and he was just going in, Eater spawns, snap, dead. And I'm like, I didn't even get to see the boss. Like out of those two options, like those two extremes, I have always been a little surprised that they, like, in my opinion, over police tank. Obviously I'm biased here as a hardcore player. But I was saying this very early. And while I do love Act 4, people were like, what should we do? Like, should we like over level and tank up really quick? And I was like, no, absolutely. The solution to Act 4 is get tons of damage. Like, I didn't really build any defense for Act 4 at all. I just went as much into damage as I could. And Act 4 was really easy, right? I don't necessarily think that should be. I would rather they were a little bit less strict on defense.
Buff deflection right now. It
Yep.
is bad.
In this patch in 20 minutes.
Just cut all the numbers in half. We need buffs right now. Like I'm looking at the game, right? Because I love making builds, and I have like a lot of viewers who show me their builds. You have literally like pretty much borderline immortal builds in the game right now. Blood Mage, 20,000 energy shield builds. Those guys, they're not dying to anything, right? And they're like being stingy on on deflect. And it's just like, even if I cap this, I'm still gonna die, right? And I don't know what the point of all of this is. I'm gonna be honest. So, yeah.
I'm glad you came to the same conclusion. I thought maybe I was like too like hard on deflection, but the whole league I've been telling everybody how dog shit it is, and I feel kind of validated, bro.
Yeah.
Like honestly,
No, I think it's an important thing to talk about. I think the next topic might be a little too positive. I'm just kidding, but crafting. Crafting has been
yo, that's a dub.
so
Massive
good
dub.
this patch. Like, just holy fuck. For me, the game is fixed. Like last patch, I was not personally having a lot of fun. This patch, I'm just like, there's so many things that can happen. There's so many things that can happen in maps. Like, even there's so much stuff. I love it. Ziggy, what's your thoughts on crafting? How do you feel?
Okay, so I'll get the negative out of the way first. I think they need to do a fair bit more in the campaign leveling experience to get more people starting to craft. Like they've done some really
Yeah.
good first steps here, but there's definitely more that needs to be done with that. Especially, I think there could be a lot more essences, and essences should be a lot broader in the campaign. The specificity of essences is part of why they're so good at endgame. The fact that they're really specific in what they give you. But there should be like just gives you a resistance essences, like on any piece of gear or something, for example. In the campaign, they're a bit too specific the way they are right now, and a bit too rare. So that's the negative out of the way. So onto the positive. Holy shit, this is Crafting League. Like, yeah, they were all kind of announced there, but it hasn't really sunk in until like I got to endgame. I started like kind of just realizing just what you can actually do and what you can do easily. And this might be there's a bloat problem for sure, but like just the sheer amount of clickables that we have is insane, and it's only going to get worse. But this is very deterministic, very powerful, very fun crafting. I am very much looking forward to exploring this. So the quick picture overview for you, maybe you haven't looked into it too much. It is very nice to jump on the currency exchange and look at the essences and what they do, and look at the omens and what they do. But the combination of essences, the new greater currencies, omens, and abyss all come together in a very beautiful way. So here's some examples. So essences do two things now. They either regal, a guaranteed specific stat. Obviously, that's just very powerful in itself, but there's not like too many crazy things you can do directly with that. But perfect essences, remove a stat and add a specific stat. Now, the nature of that is very interesting because if you have a 6 property item and the essence is, say, an essence of battle, which guarantees you get +6 gem levels on a 2-handed weapon. Crazy.
I love that
That
one.
is a suffix, right? So if you have a 6 property weapon, let's say you have a crossbow, you've got like triple physical damage prefixes, and you've got garbage suffixes. You've got nothing on there. You use that essence, it is guaranteed to remove a suffix because that is the only thing it can remove because it needs a space to put that +6 gems onto the weapon. So you have a guaranteed risk-free ability to remove, add specific modifiers here. This is kind of getting back to remove, add, and harvest crafting, but I think in a more tangible way. And it gets crazier from here. So the greater currencies, what they do effectively is like taper off the bottom end of the crafting pool. So like all the lower level modifiers aren't available when you use a greater currency effectively. This is really interesting for some items in particular, like jewelry, for example. They cap out their modifiers really early. So you get like item level 60 jewelry, you have access to like the top tier modifiers in some cases, or pretty close to, right? Like you're getting really good jewelry at that point. So you use like a greater transmute, great augment or something on jewelry, and you're effectively getting like tier 1 modifiers or close to in many cases. So that is amazing by itself. Then you've got the combination of, so omens have these things called this sinistral or dextral that allows you to target prefixes or suffixes. There is an abyss version of that allows you to specifically remove, add a suffix or prefix that will then become a desecrated affix, which allows you to choose one of 3 modifiers. In many cases, you have a pretty good chance of getting what you want from that. There's also another omen that allows you to do that twice. So you get to choose from one of 3, and if you don't like those first 3 options, you reroll again. So 1 in 6 is a pretty good chance of getting the specific suffix or prefix that you want using that combination there. What else have we got? We've got Omen of Light, which is removing only desecrated modifiers, for example. Desecrated themselves give you many, many good ways of going about building things since they're allowed to remove add. We've got a lot of the targeted removal and targeted addition, and it goes deeper than this too, with the fact that you can know a lot from mod tags about what's possible to happen on an item. So to the point that we're basically getting like prefixes can't be changed, suffixes can't be changed style crafting, but even mod blocking style crafting, which is quite interesting. So there's like these called homogenization. Yeah, so there's homogenization ones, in particular the exaltation ones. And what these do is they look at the affixes on an item and say, you can only get another affix of types that already exist on the item. So let's say you have something that has an open suffix and you're going to use an exaltation on it. And the other 2 affixes are resistances, elemental resistances. You know that you can only get elemental or resistance because those are the tags. So that means you can only get another resistance or armor applies to elemental damage. So you're crafting your armor chest piece, and you can guarantee that, like one of those two options. It's like so good,
Pretty nice.
insane. Anyway, that's an overview.
Yeah, no,
That's an
it is
overview
actually
of
insane.
the.
I think that's a
Um,
good thing to mention because there like are a lot of people that didn't know how good crafting is
Yeah, I wanted
already.
to just kind of cover the picture of how it kind of works together. But like the very simple thing is, and the very accessible crafting is that you're going to look for like a blue item with 1 or 2 affixes that's really good that you want. You'll use a greater augmentation, a specific essence to add a certain modifier that you want. Then you will maybe do like a greater exalt, or just an exalt to fill. You'll abyss craft something missing. Or you'll use these kind of like targeted ones. So like, okay, now I've got my really good prefixes because that was basically guaranteed to get there. Now I'm going to do like a targeted remove out of the suffix. And you can stack essences together. It's crazy because we couldn't do that before. Like that's never been a thing,
Wow.
right? But now you can.
That's
So
very
that
nice.
example of adding +6 to a 2-hander, you can do that, and then you can do the same thing again with attack speed until you get those two things together. Then you've got attack speed +6, and you already had your good 3 prefixes. So
Yeah,
people are
it's
going to be
very
making lots
deterministic
of really good
crafting.
items. And it's accessible at low end too, I think. I just don't know.
Yeah.
Is it too confusing? Is it a bit too many items? I don't know.
Nah.
We'll have to see how that plays out over time.
How
The
much
more the
stuff?
better.
Yeah.
Give
Yeah.
me more. Give
mean,
it's
me
how they make it.
more.
It's how they send their kids to college, right? That's how they sell their stash
Well-
tabs. I'm sure. Give me another stash tab.
Well, it's
More
also how
items.
we have jobs, you know. So
Well, so I think that the crafting this season is what really makes the whole like all classes busting true, right? Like we have way more power creep this patch. Like it's actually quite
Yeah.
crazy. So like Tuna said or Ruby said, like definitely like when you have items, like every build can be quite strong in this patch.
Yeah, for sure. I really like how they stick
mean,
into their guns with not giving scours and shit. Because sorry to cut you off there, but like as much as like I have grown to love alts and shit, like it's nice to not sit in your add-on and spam alts and to just kind of like find items out in the wild and then build upon them. I think like that was always something that I wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt, and this patch has kind of shown me that they can do it if they just add more stuff.
Mhm.
So I'm pretty happy that they're going down this route, and I'm looking forward
Yeah.
to seeing what they do in the future. There will be too many items, as Ziggy said. They might have to like maybe like homogenize or like merge certain ones together, make it less bloaty, I suppose. But I really love depth and complexity, and that's usually added by all of these moving parts, which creates creates choices, right? Because you could just choose to do it one way or another, and also it's a catalyst for creativity where people can make very specific and very interesting crafts through meta mod type of interactions, as Ziggy said. So that's where I really want the game to go. So that's where they went this league. So I'm really happy about that. Really happy.
Yeah.
Nothing else to say really.
Rue?
Making items is fun. It's a core part of Path of Exile, right?
Oh, yeah.
No one wants to run around and live trade stuff every single day and with just like resist gear like how we were doing in like 0.1, right? That's so boring. Like give me crafting. I want to make my own gear. I want to craft. I want to progress my character, and I want to make my own build. Like whether it's bad or good, like at least it's mine, right? And not just some random guy's item he found off the ground that I have to live search for. Because still though, we need res swaps really bad in this game.
Yep.
I don't know if you
Attribute
guys
swaps
agree with that. We
Good
need
Omen
res
or
swaps
Essence, maybe?
really bad. Yeah,
Good Omen,
I don't
think.
like. They don't even have to be common, but that option needs to be in the game, right? Like I wouldn't even mind paying a divine right now for a res swap, but not having it in the game and you just randomly slamming this one res that you can't use is horrible. Then I have to sell the whole entire item instead of being able to fix it myself, right? And I think it needs to be in the game, but overall crafting is great this game. I love it. I even love like unveiling diamonds, like those diamonds that you get in Rogue Exiles, and just having everyone Alk LFG when you get a 1C diamond. It's wonderful. It's great. I love a lot of things about this league, and it's actually, I want to play the game again. Last league, I didn't even want to log in because I was like, what am I going to do? Just go on trade and search for my items every day? Like, I don't want to do that, right? I actually want to log in, farm, and make my stuff right now. So It's one step in the right direction. I really love what they did. I love how they added so many crafting options in one league. In one league, they gave us more than like all the other leagues put together times 3 in one league, and I love it. And then I
Yeah.
think they should just do it again.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And then they need to do that for like end game as well. Like content. Like that gives me hope as well that like Jonathan did at one point say is we just need more. And I was really hearing that I was like kind of skeptical, but seeing what they did to crafting, it's kind of like, yeah, I could see that. You just keep cooking,
Yeah.
right? Just keep cooking, and we'll keep coming back because we're hopelessly addicted. And we'll keep complaining
I
if we
mean-
don't like it, you know. So that's
Kiwi
just the
2
cycle,
for me
right?
is like stonks. I'm surprised that there's still been like there's still been a few of the people that are like overly negative. Like there's like 2 crowds that I really, really dislike. The people that are like everything about PoE 2 sucks, you know, the people just going from channel to channel just going shit game. It's like, okay, just like don't watch the fucking streamers play PoE 2. I'm not gonna go into a D4 stream whining about how bad
this
D4 is.
shit.
Like those people are like kind of insufferable to me. Like if you can't find anything about the game you like, you're probably not gonna ever be for you. But also the toxic positivity people were like, you're not supposed to say anything is negative and everything is fine and just let GGD cook with no feedback.
Yeah.
Both of those camps are so insufferable, dude. I hate it. Like it's very, very jarring to me. Like I think just doing constructive feedback and saying clearly what you like and don't like is so important.
I think it's
Being
worth
honest is
mentioning.
important, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's worth mentioning that, like, from some outer perspective, like somebody clips Brew complaining about something, and you might be like, "Oh, this guy hates the game." Like, but the context matters, right? And of course, like we're streamers, we're streaming, we're not like talking to a boardroom. You know, we're not trying to be professional. We're just trying to have fun. It's a game, so like we are gonna shit talk, right? But at the end of the day, it comes from a place of like we want the game to be better. This is what we think. It's just we're saying it in a very blown out of proportion way sometimes, right? Like you know what I mean? So just to put that out there.
A lot of that damage this season I think is done by the clip channels, which like it's very, very limited context, or only like, for example, right, like my chat was really surprised that there were people that thought I was negative about the patch because I've been 99% positive. Obviously I'm negative when I died. Nobody fucking likes losing a character, so you're gonna be pissed, right? Like fuck that monkey, I just got one shot. I'm not gonna be happy I got one shot. And
Twice.
then twice. That's been still the funniest thing that's ever happened. And then I really dislike Ultimatum, right? I think it's my least favorite thing ever. It's just terrible. But like those were the only clips that made it to clip channels, right? Like not me pogging out about Act 4, and not me going like, wow, this is like actually a masterpiece. So that like perpetuates that like negative reinforcement that people are like, wow, Sis like fucking hates this game.
This hates it.
So like I think that's really bad. I actually had a few of the clip channels reach out to me and they apologized for it and said they were gonna try to do less of that shit in the future. So that's good,
Nice.
I guess. We'll see. But hopefully something happens there.
Wait, how come they never apologize to me? All they do is take all my shit out of context and then freaking like spam it everywhere. Half the community thinks I'm freaking a meme, and freaking they post my face on Reddit. Like I'm like the freaking poster child for freaking like craziness of this community now, dude.
The crash out poster child.
but realistically, like I've never done a DMCA, but between the two of us, I'm a lot more likely to take down a channel than you are. I've never done it either, but I think you're a lot less likely to do it.
Yeah, I don't really care. But
exactly.
like
me neither, but
I had so many positive things to say about this patch, right? I told people I was having fun, right? And then they just take the one clip of me on day one playing like the worst skill, like you know, like the worst balanced skill ever. Like you can't even kill a boss with it. And they were like, "Oh, Rue hates the game. It's shit." And then I'm just like, "Man, come on, man. It's like bad things happen. We just move on and just go play something else, right?" But
You're an easy
overall,
target for out of context clips, though, Rue. Like the way that you say things makes it very easy to like clip just one specific thing and be like, look how much he hates this
that's
thing.
what the viewers
look at the
like
gusto
as well.
he speaks with right now. And it's like, oh yeah, this is like some minor thing I don't really care about. It's just how I talk.
But I mean,
Worst thing ever.
it's funny, right? That's the thing. Like being hyperbolic can be funny, but so long as you can back it up with then like having
Very
like
clippable.
salt and sweet, you know, it's about salt
Yeah.
and sugar, right? Like, and I think Rue's got the sugar, but he's got the salt too. So, but I mean, I think that's good. I think it's funny.
Yeah, you should try being way over the top when you're like talking about something you like, just as like an experiment. Just do that for like a day, and see what the clips look like. I'm wonder if it even works. Like, how does that even work?
They don't care. Like when I'm
They
happy,
actually
my
don't
chat
care,
is
it's
like
true.
genuinely sad. Like, you know, I made my new build, right? And I'm going around just destroying the game, right? And all I see in my chat is like, can you go back to acidic concoction? Bro, I don't want to watch this. Can you go back to acidic concoction, bro? Like, and I'm just like, come on, man. None of these guys want me to be happy, man. They just want to see me pissed, dude.
Yo, the lurkers want you to be happy, Rue. Trust.
Um, another positive thing, and it's probably going to be like the last big topic, is fuck trading. Oh my god! Like I was talking about the limited hardcore market, but like it is still such an improvement because like hardcore players quit the game very often with good items, and we just never fucking see them. Now that'll be a tab where I can still buy it. Doesn't matter if you quit the league, I can still buy it. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this to come to PoE1. It must be such a boon for you guys on softcore because I imagine it's paradise for you guys.
It's so good.
I'll let Tuna take it for the start.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna play a tiny bit of devil's advocate, but again, like don't take it out of context. I think the training system is one of the best things that's ever happened to Path of Exile 1 and 2. Like if it goes into PoE1, but there is somewhat of a trend happening where gear is completely worthless. Like because there's
we knew
such
this
a
was gonna
wide
happen.
availability of it. So it's sort of like that is the only downside that I can think of right now. But the upsides obviously outweigh the downsides like 1 million times. But for example, like it's not really worth doing any sort of like low tier profit crafting because it's just, everybody has everybody just can do it and they're just gonna post it and there's no friction whatsoever, right? But then it kind of drives the market prices down a lot for things that you would have otherwise been kind of relatively happy about, which inherently devalues ground loot. But I felt like we only have positive things to say about this, so I kind of wanted to be playing devil's advocate on this one a little bit. But yeah. I think the train system is phenomenal. Like
that was always going to be the obvious side effect. The 2C market, the arts end of that has fallen out fiercely.
Yeah.
The random rare that you drop in a low tier map is now difficult to sell for that 1x, where maybe before it sold for 5C or whatever. That was very anticipated to happen. I mean, the flip side of it is like gearing your character with that gear now is like
so easy.
Will cost you a total of 10 exalts, and then you have every item that you need to like go to like tier 15 maps or whatever. It's that's the flip side of that. I'll tell you one thing: there is a big downside to this change, this asynchronous trading. It is amazing, but I'm getting scammed so much. I've been getting relentlessly scammed every single time I go to trade. How, you might ask? How am I getting scammed? It's asynchronous trading, right? Like the price is listed right there. Well, you know what I do is I buy other shit from the tab every time. I'm like in the line at the checkout, and there's like a bunch of candy bars, and there's like some like little tiny travel size toothpaste and
always
like
people
Tic-Tacs
I got shit
and like
to
a
sell,
magazine.
man.
I don't even read magazines, but it was like $2. So I'm buying all of this shit. I bought like I didn't not even checking the prices on stuff I would normally check the prices on. I'm like buying random map like tablets and stuff like 5C just because it's there, and I'm like, oh, that's a boss waster. I'm gonna get that thing. Like yeah, like I'm getting so like the prices are probably terrible, but like they're right there, man. The impulse buys are off the charts.
That's cool.
I'm really curious, actually, on softcore. Do you guys actually like see people in your hideout? Because I haven't. I think I've only seen one guy so far.
I see them and they don't buy shit. They come in. I'm like, oh, and then they leave.
Really
I'm like,
positive thing.
I'm like,
Social awkwardness.
Come back.
Eliminated. You know when you like click buy something and you send the whisper and you're like, oh shit, I got to buy it now, but I can't even equip it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like too high level. I forgot to put the level requirement in, and you're like, oh, you go and buy it because of the social embarrassment. You don't want to say anything.
Exactly.
Like now you just leave.
You're like, nah.
Oh man,
so good.
I'm gonna tell you, I love the new trade system today. I have a good story. Today, I was looking for these, I want to get 3 socket boots, right? With like the gem effect or whatever, so I could go fast. And there was a pair of boots on trade for 8 divines, and it was really, really good. But it said at the thing that someone's already trying to buy this item, right? And I was like, man, that sucks. So I teleport in, right? I go anyways because it gives you a warning saying someone's already buying this item. I go anyways, right? And the boots are right there. And I can see the guy standing there because there are 8 divines. He's debating whether he wants to buy this item or not.
Oh,
And
shit.
I yoink it and I leave. And you know he is so mad,
Oh,
dude.
it's amazing.
know he's
That
so
is
mad.
interaction. That is social interaction right
The
there.
joy
is
that Rue's
amazing,
getting out of
man.
this, bro.
Bro, the XDD business is insane. I love it. Oh my god, this might be the single-handedly the best thing to ever happen to PoE ever. I think it
it's
propelled
insane,
Jonathan
right?
up to like the ladder so high right now
Yeah.
with this single system alone. He's like, it's so good. It is so good. I don't even
How
know what
long
else to
is that
say,
limit,
man.
by the way? Like, how long is it locked for the person trying to buy it?
There's no lock.
I don't think it's
There's
locked
no
at
lock
all.
here. It's whoever's
No.
fastest.
There's a lock only on the
Oh.
It's whoever's
seller.
fastest.
Yeah. So you can't pull an item out if you've just priced it, but if somebody wants to buy it, it's first come, first serve. So, you
Yep.
know,
Yeah.
it's
So,
And
if
he's
you-
like,
yeah, if
he's
you-
either loading in or he's like debating whether he wants to buy this expensive item, man. And
Yeah.
I'm just like,
I feel like
yoink.
that's something that would happen to
Mine
me,
now.
bro. I always get cold feet and then I regret it if it like disappears. So I'm
like getting
sitting there
distracted by
like that
something
could
else
have
in
been
the
me.
tab. It's like you're like, I'm definitely gonna buy that item, but oh, what's this other thing? For a sec, someone else buys the thing you were looking at. Oh, come on. Now I will tell you though, some advice. Like, definitely construct your tabs in a way to take advantage of people like me. So think about like what is
Put, like,
together.
things
You don't want
similar
to
to
just
the
put all your
build.
crossbows in one tab because no one's gonna buy
Ooh.
2 crossbows. What you want to do is you put all your like stuff for a certain build in one
Damn.
tab. So people are like, oh
That's
shit,
smart.
like here's a thing for that. It's like, all right, cool, yeah.
Yo, we need a
put
Ziggy
your army gear
min-maxing.
together for warriors.
How to min-max your
you gotta
shop
do this.
video.
And you gotta label the titles. You gotta title the tabs properly as well. So like you gotta have like, you know, oh, here's your upgraded flask, here's your load of
Actually.
leveling gear. Like do that so they're like, oh shit, I need some of that, and like go over there. And I think like there'll be a strategy for end
that's
game
so
gear,
smart.
especially for certain builds, putting the fuel for their mapping in alongside the gear. So let's say you're like selling relics to sanctum runners or something like that, and there's a really popular sanctum build. You put the stuff for that build in the relic tab, so they're like, oh shit, that's a better roll of that.
I didn't even think about this, Ziggy. This is
Might just buy that
mind-opening.
too.
This is so smart. I didn't think about
Yeah.
this either.
This is straight up mind
Yeah, absolutely.
mind-opening.
I'm getting lots of multiple sales there. You got to do it.
Yeah, I just called my tabs like thanks for trading.
What a loser.
That's so smart.
You know, the thing is, like, I feel like they don't even really grasp the or like the rewards of this system. I think it's going to keep Path of Exile leagues alive for so much longer
Yeah.
because people can acquire items, right? Even though you're offline.
Even late league. Late league
Oh, I
usually the
think it's-
problem is like you can't find anything, right? Like in PoE1 as well. You just
Yeah.
can't find anything late league. I agree with that, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's gonna like let those people late league play builds they want to play still, and it's gonna keep the league alive. I feel like. I think it's the
see.
best thing
So-
to ever happen to the game.
So with the crafters, here's what you gotta do. You gotta craft like one item of every slot for a specific build. So you like take like top meta builds and craft one item of every slot and lay them out like that in the inventory and title it as that build. Someone gets like they search just the one specific item, they're gonna buy that other stuff 100%.
Mm.
Saves them
Yeah.
all the searching, right? Amazing.
Yeah.
You gotta do it.
That's so smart.
So fun.
I'm
I love the idea of like
definitely gonna
boutique
start doing that.
stores
This seems
arising
really
out
cool.
of this.
I do like that. I have been browsing stuff and it's so fun. And I have seen a few other things, like especially when browsing for like jewels. I've just been looking through and I'm like, oh, this is a really good deal. So like yeah, I'm definitely gonna do that now. That's so
Okay.
smart.
Yeah, that's cool. Another positive that tacks on to what Ru said is that even like usually you don't have much reason to ever come back to a league, but you could technically like put all your shit for sale, go on holiday, come back, and it's like, wow, I got half a mirror. You know, it's like
It's
because like late
motivator,
league,
right?
that's a
Yeah.
big thing. Like you can literally make like a mirror while offline. Like put your shit up, go away, and come back, and you're loaded. And it's like, well, now I have a reason to start playing again. I think
It's
cool.
the greatest. And the way they implemented it is so good too. I wish, however, I wish like control click on takes you to that
Yeah,
screen instead of the
yeah.
currency
Yeah.
trade
Which was the
window.
part of the
It's how
And
stash.
because you
control
use,
works if you don't know.
It should be part of the
yeah,
stash.
you
Let's
you
be
want,
real.
yeah, they
Yeah,
should do that because like you use the currency
Hmm.
window a lot less. But yeah, the way it's implemented, it's great. I love everything about it. It's nothing but positives. Kudos to GGG. They deserve like all the praise in the world for making
For
the
sure.
system this good.
Massive leap.
Now, I want to show something on my stream, so you guys actually have to like just look because you're gonna, especially Ruth's gonna want to see this. So this is GGG is watching the podcast and they sent me a message and I just wanted to share it with you all.
Oh.
It's really not
Oh, they're
actually a cat. They
Bro,
made this, not
bro,
me.
yeah, I have a bone. I have the bone to pick with these guys, bro. They made that Sphinx cat, and my chat made me use like $200 to get that stupid ass Sphinx cat so they can watch a Sphinx cat on my stream. Oh my god! And he licks his
oh, God.
balls, bro. He licks
Hey.
his balls.
So gross. Rue, I do feel like I need an apology from you actually. So I had to explain to the upper echelon of Grinding Gear Games staff in a professional business setting the Rue is a cat meme and what it means and why is it. Can you imagine what that experience is
funny.
like? Like, what do I even say to that? Like, there's not a satisfying explanation for
they
that.
just think my chat thinks I look like a Sphinx cat. Like I do this stupid face where I'm like, and they think I look like a stupid ass Sphinx cat. So like,
I don't even
I don't
think
know,
your chat
man,
knows,
like-
Rue. It's like literally you just shaved your head once and you kind of look like a Sphinx cat, and then since then it's just been he's the cat, bro. He's the cat. But like if you ask your new
Literally,
chatters,
like,
they probably
what
don't
is
even
this,
know.
like,
They're just like, well,
Rue
he's
is
a
a cat
cat. He
stuff?
told me he's a
What
cat.
does it mean? Like,
Oh, man. But,
I probably didn't
man,
do any. I
I'm
probably
glad-
didn't help the situation by saying that.
I mean, it's good. I mean, people start posting it on the forums,
Yeah.
and nobody
Like-
knows what it means. Like people make Reddit posts about it. Like, what is this? Like, why is Rue a cat? And I'm like, bro, like, I don't know, man. Just leave me alone. I just want to go play some Path of Exile, man. So,
This guy,
yeah.
as he's wearing it, I'm not a.
Yeah,
Bro, you
I'm
couldn't
not
be
a cat.
wearing. You couldn't be wearing a better shirt today, bro.
GGG staff trying to read like actual reactions to like their content posts, and they're
That's good.
scrolling past the Rue is a cat.
And they
What's
just
this
see
Rue
Rue
is
is
a
a
cat thing
cat.
mean?
They're trying to
I'm
get
like,
valuable
oh.
feedback.
I literally just like face palming at the moment at that time.
Oh, that's too funny. Actually,
That is
that's so
very
funny.
That's pretty much all I had for topics. Was there anything else anyone else wanted to talk about?
It's
well,
been a
surely-
blast
surely
talking to
that's
you
I
guys.
have
That can't be.
I have one more thing I
all
want to
the
talk about.
Well, we have already done 2 hours. I do like to keep podcasts around the 2 hour
Oh
mark.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
fine. But like yeah,
Never mind.
Rue and Ziggy.
No,
Rue first.
go, bro.
No, go for it, Ziggy. Go for it. Go for it.
Oh
Go
no,
for
I literally don't
Want
have I literally don't have something. I'm just like that can't be the end. Oh, like I could go keep going.
Okay, Rue.
Go ahead, Rue.
it. Okay. I have one thing to say. I want to make myself perfectly clear. This patch is really, really good. Please do not delay the next Path of Exile 1 patch.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. You guys don't need to fix it up like that much more. It's really, it's actually really, really good. Please do not pull the devs. We still need PoE 1, please. It's actually a really good patch. That's all I have to say.
Now that PoE2
so
has had its league, you know what I mean?
But I actually, I don't know if that was a joke or not, but I unironically agree. I think there's not really that much stuff that needs to be done as like mid-league patches. I think most of the changes of the game are things that are larger that needs more work that like needs to come as like a 4 months from now kind of thing. I don't think there's that many like mid-league hotfixes that need. Actually, yeah, please nerf the fucking abyss globules. But yeah, it's in a pretty good state. And opacity
I mean,
slide
they
would
could
be
do-
nice.
They can buff some stuff mid-league to
Yeah.
test like whether it's good or not, right? Because like no one cares if you like mid-league
Yeah.
buffs and then next league
Yeah.
nerf it. Right now, like don't make the flex stuff like the flex just sit there for 3 months, right? Like make
Yeah.
it good, have people test it. If you think it's too good, you can nerf it next league, right? But
I will just say though, they buffed Lightning Spear last league early because they
Yeah.
thought it wasn't any good. So
I
Yeah,
think
do
that's
have to be-
fine
I
for
feel like
Lightning
this
Spear to be
actually
OP
might
for one
help.
patch, right?
yeah, it's okay for things to be better so people can test them so you
Yeah.
can nerf them later, right? But
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
I agree
not
on
good
that
to
one,
have
yeah.
like a bunch of useless shit just sitting there. Like no one wants to play it, no one wants to touch it. Like it's just bunk. I
Yeah.
feel like they should really consider doing a lot of that stuff though, because it's good for them,
Yeah.
right? Testing is good for them. Every information is good for them. So
Isn't it like
Yep.
to add on to that a little bit? But I guess so they need continuous streams of feedback, but they can't nerf. So they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. But the issue is that they can't nerf because they don't give us notice of nerfs. But wouldn't it be that if they told you like in 2 weeks we're gonna nerf this, do you think players would be just as pissed off? Like because they do need more than just once every 4 months getting one shot. Because it's evident in that like we're not getting that much closer to 1.0 when it's supposed to come out in December, right? Like so in that regard, like wouldn't it be
Well,
more
okay.
useful for them to give people,
People
like
don't read
you have
the
2
comment
weeks,
from
play
chat.
this build.
That's
Yeah.
the problem.
People
You
don't read.
absolutely could nerf
Put it on
like
the
that,
launcher.
but is there a benefit to doing that instead of just waiting till the next league?
Well,
Like, does
yes,
it really
because
matter that
then
much?
people can play with the changes and give feedback depending on like because not all changes can be positive, right? So there needs to be a continuous flow of feedback from the player base for them to really understand what's wrong, right?
Okay. Counterpoint. Path of Exile players gets nerfed by 3% and the build is dead, right? So like you do get a lot less
Well, I
feedback.
mean,
Is like we've seen that in like the
Um,
fucking 10 years I've been streaming PoE.
yeah,
Like remember Valspark got nerfed like six
Yeah,
times
yeah.
in every league? I was like, this
And
is
it was still
fine. Like
OP.
this is great,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
But
then
everyone
again,
is like,
like
oh, it's dead every patch.
people say that, but then the numbers always sort of like end up evening out to the extent where like there will still be people playing it and there will still be people giving valuable feedback, and it's like filtering that is the biggest issue, I suppose. But I think they need more feedback from players, and once every 4 months doesn't seem like enough for them to really flesh out the game in a speed that is what they told us, right? I'm kind of clueless. I just like I've just been getting like the content and sort of like judging it that way. So I don't know.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
be honest. If 0.3 was 1.0 and the game got released like this, it would still be better than any other ARPG release that I've
Yeah.
played in the last 15 years. Like last
Yeah.
patch,
Bro.
not so much, but this patch definitely like
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
enough, right? So they still need to iron out like a lot of the balance issues, but I think Path of Exile 2 is on its way. I finally feel like that it's
I
on its
feel
way.
like
Yeah.
that too.
Like for the last
I
like
finally feel
year,
like
I've
that
been
too.
like, oh man, yeah, is this game ever gonna make it? Right? Is this game ever gonna be good? Finally, I get a patch where like, man, it's finally on its way, right? You know, I don't know if
I
they
agree.
really feel that way because you know a lot of skills are over, or maybe a lot of builds are overpowered and they don't really like that. But in terms of like playing the game and enjoying the game, I finally feel like it's getting there. To be honest.
I just realized one thing I want to discuss actually. Um, unique items. Do you feel so? Obviously, like in PoE 1, we do have a lot of like kind of useless uniques that you don't use outside of like day 2 or 3. But there's still quite a lot that, especially in the first 2 days, at least for me, have been very exciting. Like finding a barrack ring on day 1 is like huge, right? In PoE 2, considering how new all the uniques are, I personally feel like I am shocked at the amount that are like completely unusable. Like not even in any case usable. I feel like there's like a lot too much of that. And I was wondering what you guys felt about that. Because for PoE 1 it makes sense, right? They're being made over 10 years, 12 years, whatever. So like obviously they're gonna get outdated. But considering how new the uniques are in PoE 2, it's literally I would rather use a blue item with one stat that works for my build rather than quite a lot of the uniques.
Yeah.
And I'm quite surprised at that considering how new they are. Like these aren't like outdated uniques.
I agree. I 100% agree with you. They should have been made with more power in mind, more build enabling
More
in mind,
purpose.
rather than just like give some like random stat that's like half good, maybe good for like, you know, the 2 people who play it. Yeah, I completely agree. A lot of them are just undercooked, underpowered. Some of them are pretty good, right?
There are
But
new ones
definitely
yeah, a
as
lot of
exciting
them.
and great uniques for sure. I'm just like I feel like the bad uniques in PoE 2 are so disproportionately bad compared to the bad uniques in PoE 1.
I mean, there's literally so many trash uniques in PoE1. I feel like we've just kind of forgot about them at this
Yeah,
point. But
I feel like they're equally
But
trash.
like
to
I
be
said,
fair.
right? Most of those are bad because they're outdated. Like they were.
Yeah,
Mm,
Most
that's
of them
fair.
were kind of okay when they came out.
yeah, that's true. I definitely think there's an issue here with like the state of the mid tier to bad uniques for sure. They've made some good, like some of the new ones they've been making recently have been quite good in the
Yeah.
way they've been going about that process. So maybe they've
Yeah.
kind of like figured out what they want to do with them a bit more. Like that new crossbow and stuff is sick, but I want more like highly specific, more powerful power from bad uniques.
Yeah,
Uniques should
like
only be bad because
specific.
it's too specific, not just because it's actually bad.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. They need
Here-
to be specific, not generic.
Here's the thing. Here's my thoughts on that. I don't think PoE 2 was designed with you having this crafting system. It was designed to be like a ruthless type of game where you didn't get loot. So maybe all of these uniques were designed like for that atmosphere. And here's
Yeah,
a
maybe.
question that I have for all of you, right? If today, like they said, oh, players are too powerful, would you rather them nerf the crafting or buff the monsters? Because for me, I would rather them buff the monsters because like nerfing the crafting is like it takes fun away from me, like making my items, making my build, right? And I don't want to go back to that state where I'm just like, nothing to do.
Hopeless. Yeah.
And I just want your guys' opinion on this subject.
Tuna?
I mean, I agree with you. I think having more tools to... I'm a massive sandbox enjoyer, but like PoE1 has made me a massive sandbox enjoyer. I wasn't originally a sandbox enjoyer, and I played PoE1. I'm like, this changed my life, like as cringy as it sounds, it like genuinely did, right? Because here I am streaming and stuff. But yeah, so like making a game hard through like, oh, it's hard because you're just like, you don't have a way of fixing your problems, rather than making it hard because it's genuinely hard, like mechanically demanding or whatever else, then yeah, I always preferred going on the side of like, make the content hard, don't make it hard for me to like sort of like fix issues. Like have agency, but then have things also be difficult through mechanical or whatever else. And they do a really good job because I think the bosses are pretty mechanically demanding.
And I do think the monsters need to be buffed.
They just
I
don't
think
have
we're
enough
getting
HP.
way too powerful, way too
There's just
fast.
not enough HP. Like, and I think their way of balancing things is like, oh, let's just make the monsters deal a lot more damage, which can kind of feel really bad. Like, for example, with Abyss, because for example, we don't have much agency over our defenses. So it's like, I can't fix this. But then that drives me to like not enjoying my experience as much in that aspect. But I feel like if you make a monster tankier and like make the fights longer, there's never gonna be a time where like I'm feeling like that's worse than getting one shot. I don't know. That's like, in a way, like I hate to bring this one up, but like Diablo 3 did an okay job at creating artificial difficulty through scaling monster HP, but not ridiculously scaling damage, right? Because it still felt like you could tank things at higher risks, but the monster just became impossible for you to kill if you didn't have the gear. So more on the side of that and less on the side of like a green bubble exploding for 3 times your HP is the kind of balance that I prefer in an RPG personally. But obviously opinion.
Awesome.
Real talk, like I don't know what to do with balance. That's the most honest thing I
don't
can
think
say
anybody
is,
really does.
Like,
to be fair,
holy shit, what do they even do? Like, where
It's
should
crazy.
Path of Exile 2 be?
Yeah.
Like, I know what things I don't like when I see them. Like yeah, too much spam, too much visual clutter, too low visibility in game. 100% see that. Killing the bosses too fast, not seeing all the cool abilities. 100% like that's an issue. But like at the same time, at the other end of the spectrum, is people like taking 10 minutes of the stuff. So I know something is like obviously wrong when it's there, but I don't know where the overall picture needs to be for this stuff. So
Yeah,
I guess
I don't even think that's our job, right? I think it's very important for us to just say like, this is what we like, this is what we dislike, and sometimes that's all you can do. You might not have a better suggestion.
But I mean, like on the whole, like holy shit, this is like a whopper of a patch in terms of like some of the biggest improvements we've had to any Path of Exile ever in one go. I feel like
they've given us hope
with trade plus crafting, plus like removal of crawl plus new content. Like yeah, there's lots of balance issues and stuff right now, but this has got to be like one of the biggest single updates in terms of like stuff being substantially better.
And sprint.
It's but I know people would disagree because they're specifically having a bad time with their build or something. And that's the that's a shame that
Yeah.
like kind of dampens it.
My thing is, if you're an experienced ARPG player and the skill that you're leveling with, because leveling is very, very important. That's what gets people in the gate, right?
Yeah.
If you run out of mana before the boss dies, that is a terrible experience for
That's terrible.
anyone, right?
Yeah.
Like these fights take so long, these skills are so undertuned at the start that you run out of mana. Like how do like you can't get people to play your game if they're just visually frustrated all the time to these problems. So I think a lot of these baseline skills need to actually be brought up so people can actually enjoy the game, get into it, get into the crafting, get into making the items. If you beat people down right at the door, people can't, people don't want to continue. It's going to be a POE1 all over again because that's the biggest problem with POE1, right? They couldn't get people in the door because it just beat your ass as soon as you got in the mud flats, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I want people to like start getting like I want people to enjoy the game, get their foot in, start crafting, start getting into all these mechanics into the game, and they'll really fall in love with the game. But if you beat people down so fast, it's going to be like POE1.
Yeah.
The campaign is like the place where they have the most control because players don't have gear, and that's where balance matters the most. If things are imbalanced in endgame, there's a million variables. Like you get two elements and they just catalyze and something goes crazy. But we don't care about that balance as much as we care about early game balance, especially on a league start. And I think that's something you can't mess up. Like the way Rue and I experienced this league start, we had the same exact league start, right? Like it was just not having fun whatsoever, right? And we played PoE for thousands and thousands of hours, man. Like that's that's crazy.
Yeah. I'm on the boat of like you can make the end game as hard as you want. Some of us will still beat it. We'll still do the content. We'll figure out a way, right? But it's like just let people get in the door, like basically put their foot in the door. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah.
With some skills.
Yeah, for sure. Any final thoughts?
That's about it. We could go on forever, man. Like you need to cut us off.
Yeah, I could keep going.
Yeah. I mean, I can talk about PoE
No.
for days.
No, it's okay. I like keeping it like not too much over 2 hours.
Yeah,
So huge
no, I
thank you
agree.
to all of us for joining me. Rue, where can people find more of your content?
Don't find me. You probably won't like watching me.
Jesus.
That's fair. Crouching Tuna?
Twitch.tv/Rue too. That's where he's at, boys. Go find him. And I'm twitch.tv/crouching_tuna. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
I'm on YouTube, Twitch. You can search Ziggy D, but also doing content on Maxroll where you don't search Ziggy D, but hopefully you search something and that you find a helpful guide on there.
These guys are insane, boys. Really check him out. Like his campaign walkthrough is the craziest thing. You'll have, like if you're a new player, bro. If you're a new player, you open a Ziggy guide, it's insane. Like if I had this when I started playing PoE, I would literally be like, I'm seriously glazing. Like that shit's crazy. You do a crazy job.
My problem is I want to answer every single possible question anyone could ask me ever. It's like if anyone ever sends me a message like a question that I didn't answer already ahead of us, like I failed. So they get a little bit massive sometimes. Trying to
it's good.
Sort that out a bit.
No, it's good. It's good.
No, that's good. Yeah, you've done a really good job with it. And I'm Zizrin on every platform. So hope you guys enjoyed the podcast, and we'll see you back in a week or two. So thanks for watching. Try to die.
Thanks everyone.
Thanks, this was fun. See you later.
All right. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thanks for joining and thanks for hosting. And I hope you guys have a good day, a good evening.
Yep. Bye.
Yep.
All right, peace
Thanks,
out.
guys.